Yo, 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 what's good, what's good? Good morning, good morning. Ah, man. I wasn't even gonna play Rivals today. I was like, man, I wanna stay in the groove. I had to thank all the followers yesterday. We finally hit 100 followers on Twitch, which is cool. What's up behind in the chat? I don't add people on Discord like that because it's been hacked before, so gotta be like, I gotta know you. Thanks anyway, players. Oh man. But yeah, it should be a pretty good day today. Hold on. Yeah, man, everybody wants to add the Discord, bro. It's like, no, that's just been hacked too many times. Adding people on Discord, like, nah, you gotta know you for a bit. Twitter first, something. Let's see, what we gonna watch? See, all the shooter fans are loving life now. Battlefield, Arc Raiders, Call of Duty comes out this in a couple weeks. My shooter days are over. I'm just tired of playing them. Call of Duty killed it. The last one I had fun on was Cold War. I think that was the last good Call of Duty game. People didn't like it, but it was fun. Oh man. So we might be getting some we gotta be getting news soon on season 5. We have to. There's 9 days left of the season. So we're either gonna get it today or tomorrow. We'll get some announcements. It's already been leaks out there, so most likely we know who's coming. Pause. Who's gonna be in season 5? It's gonna be a duelist strategist. This season was duelist, Vanguard. I get it. You gotta cater to the majority of people who want to play DPS. Crazy, bro. I don't know how people can play game for like 10 hours. I guess you're a content creator is making a lot of money. Play what? I guess I could too. But I could just play solo though. That's the key. Yeah, we ain't got much to do. We're gonna finish out this right here. I think that's all we got to do. I didn't even play zombies, bro. Like, they look cool, but it's just, I don't know. I think we got to do this today. Complete 3 matches. So what's this one? Unlocks tomorrow, so another 100 units for playing the game. So I see there's been an org left Marvel Rivals comp, a Sentinels. It's sad to see, bro. Marvel Rivals, they need to do some kind of like league or something. We can add money for these teams, bro. Put team theme skins in the game. We will buy them. Guaranteed people will buy them. It can't be like crazy joints, but you know. Use like a Sentinels pack, a VP pack, Navi pack, shit like that. 100 Thieves pack. You know people buy 100 Thieves shit. It's not hard, bro. You can fund tournaments. You can do a lot of shit. Give creator codes out. So team codes. Shit like that, man. Give us. We want to see the shit thrive, because if the comp thrives, the game will last longer. It goes hand in hand. It's not that hard for them to do that. What's in the store? Yeah, this skin is good though, but We're gonna see if these characters coming up, if they are my type to play. That's the last skin I bought right there. This was Emma. That's a fire skin, bro. Okay, what people say, people hate it. I don't care. That's one of the best skins in the game. Look at this skin and the whole package, bro. Come on, come on, come on. I want to make this the background. What you can make that the background? That's what I would do. You better put any background in there. Shit, I didn't have the screen on. I'm stupid. But yeah, you should be hearing something soon. Supposedly it's Gambit. Supposedly. We'll see. Gambit and Rogue. Most likely Gambit's gonna be deep. It's gonna be duelist. And Rogue is supposed to be strategist. Like Rogue is not. So what she's gonna have? How she's gonna be a strategist, bro? Health steal. What she does? She could take your powers, like Loki. So basically, you're gonna play like a female Loki. Well, you can't move out clones. Yeah, it's sad seeing the Sentinels go down like that. So, our Sentinels gotta have more money than Envy. Envy just started back and they got a team. I think it's because the Sentinels didn't do good. That's what I'm thinking. If Sentinels had made it to the land, Dream Hat, they would have stayed in. Definitely. But it is what it is. So we're gonna play some games. We're probably gonna play Rivals that long. We'll see how much I farm all Mantis. We ain't that bad. We've been rocking out with Mantis for a minute. We're still way off on. I do want to play a different but I do want to play a different Vanguard, but like Max Detool. I think I need to put Strange in the bag, bro. I think that's what I'm gonna do next season. We're gonna see if who gets buffed or Thor gets buffed again. First game of the day, let's go.
Team to win this one. Life energy is a powerful weapon against evil.
No, 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 no. Jet Bowser? Best not miss. Like I've only come across maybe one or two good.
Evil is a rejection of life, because I am a guardian against evil.
Good Scarlet Witch joint.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
This dude's a gooner, look. He's trying to whip Luna.
Are you anxious?
Every moment of every day.
Can I help?
Only if you can defeat Doom and put the timeline back together.
You got the standard ammo, bro. That's when you know you got a standard. So we got.
The battle starts.
Oh, I know I didn't. Damn it, bro.
4,
I'll do that to this game.
Two, be your best self. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
I swear, if this outfit gets ruined, there will be hell to pay.
Enemy in front of us.
That one hurts.
Unexpected.
I was worried.
That topped me off. Thanks.
I like the cold. Danger! The Punisher's cloning turret is active. Blow up.
Gone. And already forgotten. Exquisite!
Revenge. Unwholesome, but delicious. Good medicine. We shall protect
Get that
these
vehicle to
sacred
its
convents.
destination. Do a girl like a girl.
Onward to my sacred hole.
Dude, that was cold, bro.
I must resist. You see, circle of life.
We must make
I
haste
missed
to
my
the
shot.
goal of worship.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Keep going.
You've done enough damage.
Bro, what the fuck?
I am ready to put on a show.
I've got that extra lethal feeling. After all these years, Natasha.
Good medicine.
Overcompensating them, friend.
Judge.
Vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum. T'Challa needs the sacred totem at once.
We'll be seeing you around.
Here comes some serious damage.
That one hurts. Who's next?
I unleash the Vishanti's power.
Rocket beacon has ceased its signal. That's it! Don't let anything stand in your way. Natural anger.
This statue is sacred. We must keep it safe.
I was worried.
As if I wasn't strong enough. Disappearing. Once I am free from the but just for you. That topped me off. Thanks.
So close! This is your big chance! You seeing stars? There they are.
More powerful yet.
Another epic.
Dude, I don't know what's up. That might have been a bot team. Definitely a bot team, bro. Ain't no way, bro. Hey, that's a good warm up. Good first game warm up. Oh man, I hope we get the announcement today, bro. It'll be at 11 if it happens. I'm definitely gonna be playing Marvel that long, but we shall see. I'm definitely gonna play in the Mortal Kombat Legacy collection. What's the update for Steam? That's why I got the Steam version, bro.
Pick your hero or villain. I'm not judging. Life energy is a powerful weapon against evil.
I got the Xbox version with the limited edition slipcover Sub-Zero one, collector's purpose. I got almost every Mortal Kombat game on Xbox. Like wrapped in plastic. Every one just came out. Plus regular ones, plus digital.
Life energy is my eternal guide and the source of my powers.
But they need to just, I don't know, somebody needs to buy them.
You're mine. 30 seconds before you
Buy
attack.
them.
Get ready.
Like a gaming company needs to buy NetherRealm, bro.
I sense great sadness
Like,
in you.
The collector took me from
if it's
my
Sony, but they got to be like, yo, you can't just have it on PlayStation.
If your timeline still exists.
I will, you know what I would love? I would love fucking Valve to buy it.
for what they've done.
Imagine Valve buys,
Battle starts in 5, 4, 3.
just imagine if Valve buys like a gaming studio.
All you need to do is
You need to have their own.
got it. Feel better.
The largest yokai I have ever seen. Who could slay such a creature?
Oh boy, here they come!
Why'd we stop, fighter?
Why can't I move?
Ha! Much
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now. That's for a greatest hit.
A shame this was your last chance, Lord of Stars.
How refreshing!
You needed some help, didn't you? The mission area is yours.
It seems I have found our foe.
Dude, why is somebody in the spawn?
How refreshing! Namo? Catch. A shame.
Hitting harder than ever.
You're mine. I need
I
assistance.
summon the seas!
You've captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
More all fall before Namor.
Us against the world. Let's do some damage. Gary's almost
Get off me, bitch.
My blade
Ooh.
is sharper.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Bro, there's no way, dude. That's definitely a bot. There's no way, bro. Bro. That means the next games I'm gonna get put on. They probably have enough players right now. It's still early. I got started mad early today.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
You move with such stealth. You could be an excellent sparring partner.
Currently, I'm more interested in fighting against our common foes.
When this battle is won, grant me the honor of besting you in combat.
You'll have to let this mom stretch first, but then you're on.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it? Sometimes you can reason with people, and sometimes they need a kick in the teeth.
You know what to do? Such curious little spiders. They don't look friendly.
This is gonna hurt. The mission area is yours.
Yeah, I got up here. Get out of here.
Capture the mission area.
What a difference.
Vortex field. My anger is multi-play. Mind control these.
Where's the other?
Let's do some damage.
An enemy has arrived.
A little extra oomph.
Us against the world!
We are undefeatable. You are nothing. Captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
This Spider-Man's trying to.
Nice work, Namor. But don't let it go to your
This is real firepower! Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Dude, I tried to get you, bro.
Here is almost done.
At least you are truly free.
Dude, I tried to save Jeff. My man, Jay.
Control lost. Never gives up.
A little help, please. Controlling me.
I am healed.
Bro, you can't even get this bitch, bro.
Your team's capture progress is past the halfway.
Watch me I got you covered. Story ends.
High caliber.
Behind you. My shields are down.
Control these.
My blade feels sharper.
against the world. So long, turrets. All fall before the Lord.
Another epic victory! Big win!
There's no way you can keep getting things like this, bro. It's crazy. 2 first games like this, bro. I'm definitely gonna be on in a blender soon. I'm taking it as I go. Oh man, there's a lot of shit going on in gaming, bro. Like, I'm seeing. I just hope I don't get this problem. If you're a PC gamer, 12-volt high power or 2x6 cable burning on the ends on these NVIDIA cards, and now on the AMD, because certain companies, it's a lot cleaner to have one cable. But bro, you definitely need more shit, bro. It needs to be thicker, more wires into it or something, bro. It's NVIDIA's fault. They had to shit the sensors on the 3090, and then they took it off. But that doesn't protect, that just protects the cable. But now some 9070 XTs are burning on the tips. They're not melting like the NVIDIA cards, but it seems like the ones with the colors on it that lets you know that it's plugged in all the way if you don't see the color on the end of it. Those are the only ones I see that has it. I think people are plugging it in and out too many times. Bro, I got my 5090. I plugged that power cable in once I got the card in, and that's it. Plug it in tight. Don't move that shit around, bro. Plus you got a 5090. I got my shit in. I'm not taking it out for nothing. I ain't moving the cable. I'm not moving nothing. It's in there. Plus I had the undervolt, bro. That's the key. You see how much power it is? I'm definitely not trying to heal them. Like 2 something. It's like, I'm not trying to hit that 500, 600 watts on the load, bro. That's crazy. Dude, that fucking cable. I would rather have the 4 fucking power cables. Like, they can do, all they have to do is they just put 2. If they put 2 of them on there, it'd be fine. I don't know, I'll make the cables thicker that can handle more power, something like that. But now I see Asus, they have the solution. But you know the Asus tax, cuz the Asus tax, they have the BTF, the back to feature or back to front. Some other companies have it too, where it has no wires on the motherboard, so you don't get the CPU wires, which still look clean. The 24 pin, all the USB cables, so you have no wires up front. Like MSI has it. I don't know if Gigabyte has it. They might have it. But Asus has it, but they have it complete. They don't even have a power cable for your GPU that's plugged into the back. But still, you still have to. I wonder how would that work though. Will it burn up the plug on the back? I wonder if there's anybody shit burned up like that, because they just plugged it. They have a second, like a PCI connector on the motherboard. They have their graphics cards that does that. I haven't seen any things, but I think the only cards that has is the Astrals, and they have built-in protection. That's why they cost so much. But I'm not paying. Dude, the Astral is fucking $3,500 for the white one. $3,500 for the white Astral 5090. Bro, I got the Finals Edition, $2,000. Thank you, Nvidia. It took them long enough for me to. I was on the list at launch. So now I'm on the list. So when the 6090 come out, put my name on it. Yeah, give me that joint, bro. You bullshit. I wanted the 6090 gonna come up before GTA on.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
On PC.
Life energy is a powerful weapon against evil.
Oh no, I got a feeling. Oh shit. It's a wrap, cuz. It's a wrap, cuz. It's a wrap, cuz.
Be wary. No timeline exists where Magneto yields.
Don't get no healers?
I'm Luna Snow. Like the moon, I shine in darkness.
Bro.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready. Life energy is a... People often mistake empathy.
I knew somebody. I knew he was gonna quit, bro. I knew he couldn't play. All right, Spider-Man. You a lore Spider-Man? It looks like. I don't know. It might be a lore Spider-Man.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is enter the mission area. Got it?
A shame my students aren't here to witness this lesson. Look who's here. I need...
Our foe is here.
Bro.
Now's the time to hit it.
Their end is nigh. At least you are truly free. No escape from me.
I told you, bro. Didn't I tell you? We were gonna be in the gauntlet. No way you pick. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way, bro.
Oh, you're a hero,
I was fine, but thank you.
Now's the time to hit it.
Bro, oh. Bro, this is no.
You needed some help.
That's 3.
Bro, ain't no shot, bro. Ain't no shot, bro. I told you, bro.
Behind him matters most.
Surely essence beneath the surface.
Just another broken toy.
Right here. I'm not staying with one healer, bro.
Judge, jury, executioner!
Better watch your back.
Judge,
And they came out of nowhere, bro.
executioner!
You think I'm gonna stay with one?
You thought I was going for good.
One healer, bro? Look at you.
You get a weapon! You get a weapon! You get a weapon!
Us against the world!
Armed and dangerous! Again! Again!
I'm not doing solo healing, bro. I'm not doing it. Yeah, man, everybody died, bro. Oh, we got one Jeff, huh?
You sure those are bad guys?
I'm
Get that vehicle moving again!
The moon haunts you!
Get that vehicle moving again!
Look behind you!
Us against the world! We must deliver no to the realm below.
Come on, bitch.
We need to disappear.
You're halfway there! Keep going!
You get a weapon! You get a weapon! You get a
But
weapon!
they mean business.
He's coming through!
Almost there! Don't turn back now!
We need to get no essence beneath the surface. Be right.
Judge, jury, executioner!
Shields up!
I'm as flawless as they come, darling.
The legions of hell are beyond counting.
We must deliver Noel's essence to the realm below.
No chance against the warrior born.
I'm
That's it! Don't let anything stand in your way.
You'll want to protect your rear.
A little help, please.
us against the world.
Look who's here. Someone's asking me to talk about it. I was fine. Thanks.
I'm
Get that vehicle moving again!
Feeling stronger already. Tail it.
don't let.
I'm back. And now there's hellfire to pay.
So close! This is your big chance! Only 60 seconds left.
Submit!
What am I?
I'm
Your turn to disappear.
Down to 30 seconds.
Fuck out of here.
Another epic victory! Big win!
Struggling for a minute. We didn't have no healers. They came in. Why do you guys who's doing this thing, bro? They finally switched. Dude, we was getting destroyed, bro. That was a good W. Yes. We got everything done. All right. I got 1,800 joints. We ain't got enough. I will be able to get maybe 200 more units by in the end of the season. That was definitely a good yeah, I want to see which character do I want to use. I might have to put Strange in the bag. I don't think I've even used him that much, bro. Yeah, I haven't used Strange at all. Not even an hour. That's some cheese. I use Magneto most of the time. Angela's alright, but it's just not my type of character. She's a flyer's She's a different type of flyer. Like you don't have, she's always flying, which I think some of them should be. Oh man, I'm gonna take a little break. Rest my hands real quick. We can just shoot the shit. Oh man. Hold on real quick. Kind of hot in here, bro. Got this 5090 pushing out mad heat. Yeah, man, I want GTA 6 to come on PC at the same time as consoles, bro. But I get it. They know they can make so much money. Launch on consoles first, and then people will buy it again on PC. I get it. I get it. So we're gonna see. I wonder what this road gonna be like, bro. I kind of want Iceman in this joint. So those are two characters we're getting next season. And what's going to happen next? We're definitely getting Doom next year. Which everybody's going to want to play Doom. It has to be a Vanguard, bro. It's either going to be a Vanguard or a strategy. So either way, all your duelists can suck that one. I want Thanos in there, bro. We need some more Vanguards. Definitely. And we need more strategy. Like, just come up with one season. With 1-1. Did they come up with a season that has a strategist and a Vanguard? No, cause Invis came out with didn't Invis come out with Johnny? No, and Johnny came out with the thing. No, it came out first. It was it Sue and I don't know. I think it was the thing and Reed, and then Sue and Johnny. I don't remember. Check out the store. Any skins that I missed that I might want. Like that's a fire ass skin. Both of these are fire skins if I play the characters. I know Spider-Man mains are eating good. Eating good. So is Iron Man. They know Iron Man. Spider-Man, the two most favorite characters. Wanda has mad skins too. A lot. Dude, I still want Bucky skin. Like Daredevil pack is alright, but I didn't play him that much. You need heals. You can't just go in Daredevil and then die all the time. Look, I can almost get the whole bundle. Dude, I woke up mad early today. I don't know why. I was gonna get up at 8. I woke up like before 6 o'clock. Fuck. That's why it's fucking. I've been on for an hour. Usually just about getting in gear first couple games right now. Gonna get back into it right now. I want to rest my hands, bro. People need to take care of their hands. Like I had my hands messed up playing Call of Duty, bro. 2019 Slack counseling. Oh my god, bro. My arms were fucked. Even when I first started doing mouse and keyboard, my muscles wasn't used to staying like this on the desk.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Look at oh, bro. First two pit, bro.
Life energy is a powerful weapon against evil. Life energy is a powerful weapon against evil.
Guaranteed all the people ain't gonna pick. I bet you back out. I'll pick DPS.
People often mistake empathy for weakness.
You're mine.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
I told you. Didn't I tell you to go pick DPS, bro? So, if you're a good Hella,
Then I'll be sure to take it off.
dude, Hella was OP when this game first started.
You jest.
You don't see that many people because they can't aim.
More than a summer breeze to me.
Okay, if you say so.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Getting hotter than
You
ever.
have to stop them from securing the mission area. Vortex field.
Clear a path. Unless you wish me to clear your mind.
I suck. Thanks so much. She flows stronger. Turn around. No. I need assistance. Focus on the battle.
I suppose that helped.
You look tired. My anger is healthy.
Oh, Bucky got me. That was my fault.
I live to fight another day.
Of course you
It's
need
okay.
me.
Admit it. You need me.
This place deserves some attention.
Sorry,
I am
you
barely
back.
home.
Ready to do some damage. A nice deep freeze. Now I'm confident. That one hurts.
Healed at last. Armed and dangerous. Your beautiful soul.
Yo, Bucky came in there flying, bro.
Armed and dangerous. Never stood a chance.
Life energy brings me back.
武器潮源，
Shake it up. It pleases me to be helpful.
By the
Ready to kick some ass?
An opportunity for combat.
You need to stop that easily. Prepare. Angry.
Thank you, dear.
A nice deep freeze. Sire, we need you back.
tremble before fast.
Dude, they pulled me back.
Much better. Fast. Freeze.
I tried to get back and y'all left me, bro.
Mantis has
You
returned.
left me.
Climate change. Do I throw like a girl? Focus on the battle.
Getting hotter than ever.
Dude, I can't move. What the fuck? Bro. I could not move.
them!
The dragon unleashed!
You belong to me! You did your
By the
Focus on the battle.
Stronger than ever.
I needed that more than I'll admit.
armed and
I don't have any shit left.
I'm barely harmed.
You stop them in their tracks.
let the devil out!
Take a nap. Us against the world! You made me angry! I am healed. I'll see you next time. We are undefeatable!
an opportunity
I need
for
assistance.
combat.
Good to be protected.
Focus on the battle. Careful, it pleases me to be helpful. Natural anger.
I suppose that helped.
You don't have to fight alone.
Time to heal.
You stop them in their tracks.
Watching this spot might be smart.
Watch me soar!
Your day.
My health is back. Time to heal.
I am healed.
I purge the darkness.
Help is here. Feel the pull.
As if I wasn't strong enough.
Enemies are here.
Thanks.
Bro,
Anyone's going to help?
Look out behind us.
A guardian
My
never
fist is
gives up.
fired up.
Armed and dangerous!
Focus on the battle.
Dragon
Again!
Linley.
By the eye of Agamotto!
bro, why am I getting destroyed like this?
I must resist.
Leave me, darkness!
Better stop that vehicle. There's still a chance to stop them.
You were beneath.
Here they come now.
Help.
Linley, you are true. You belong to me!
Focus on the battle.
As if I wasn't strong enough. Useless Psylocke. Just revenge is best served cold. And hello, darling.
stronger than ever.
Let me help.
My blade seems sharp.
Stop them in their tracks.
Step aside.
Help. So cold.
That's an edge effect. Do your worst.
You needed some help, didn't you? Only 60 seconds left.
Us against the world.
Here they come now.
We are undefeatable!
Too easy to get hurt.
Step aside.
You don't have to fight alone. Down to 30 seconds.
Our defense is strong. Hold a little longer. Did you even train for this?
We better test this out.
Watch me soar!
Armed and dangerous.
Fuck you trying to go?
I'm opening a portal. Tremble before fast.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Hey, this dude solo ult me?
Tremble before fast.
An opportunity for combat.
I have some scores to settle.
Should be a wrap.
Yes. Ruthless Psylocke.
Another epic victory! Big win!
Got carried that game. Just should be good. Finally, and carry. I definitely got carried again. But I was getting punished. Oh man. Yeah, today wasn't even gonna be a rival stream. I was just gonna finish the missions. Everything is done. We might switch over to Mortal Kombat. I think that's what we're gonna do. Unless we're close on Mantis on some of this. Sedate enemies. I think that's gonna be it for me on Rivals. We should be back. When's the next time? That's be Friday. Probably next time will be Friday. No, I'm just gonna play tomorrow. I'll probably play off stream tomorrow. Just to finish this joint. Just to finish that one. This joint. Finish this tomorrow. I probably won't be stream tomorrow. Probably stream Thursday when they have some of these on. But this will be tomorrow, so I got 2 tomorrow. And that, so. Yep. That's it from Marvel Rivals. We will be switching to Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. We're gonna see how it is. I want to watch the documentary because I was there. I grew up in this era, so hopefully the gameplay is much better since they put an update. But we'll see. Thanks to everybody who swung by for Marvel Rivals, but we will be switching to Mortal Kombat now. Don't go nowhere. Be right back. Yeah. I'll be some clicking and clacking. Time to break out the fight stick, fellas. You don't follow me on Twitter, you won't know that I have a authentic Mortal Kombat arcade stick. Gonna be some clicking and clacking in. Okay. Did I stream the? We'll start from the beginning because we wanna catch all this.
Hey, have you heard of this game, Mortal Kombat?
What is Mortal Kombat?
It's like Street Fighter.
I'm pretty sure that's the first one. Yeah.
Hey, have you heard of this game, Mortal Kombat?
What is Mortal Kombat?
It's like Street
Let's
Fighter.
get it.
But you can fucking kill people.
So this is the game that got me into fighting games, really.
The first game truly was like an expression of who we were at the time, the stuff that we consumed growing up as
Like
kids.
I played Street Fighter.
We just threw it all into the game.
You know, there was
But I wasn't.
to how to make
When Mortal Kombat came out, that was really it.
instructions.
That's how my arcade stick is. It's just like the
I've never
arcade
done
cabinet.
this before. I didn't know how to
Authentic
do it. We were
to-
just kind of making it up as we went along.
I need to
We were
change
just
the
a bunch of
artwork, but
knuckleheads doing whatever we
I got
wanted,
the
and we were
exact
happy.
buttons and everything.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat!
Mortal Kombat.
Cliffy B.
It is simultaneously exactly like and nothing like Street Fighter.
Kano.
Liu Kang.
Rated Johnny Cage.
Scorpion.
Sub-Zero.
Sonya.
Round one. Fight.
You had to guess like the moves.
Cliffy B's the goat, bro, for years.
Remember having a cheat sheet.
Hit block and mash the buttons. I don't know.
Block, 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 block. High kick.
Fatality. Kano ripped out a heart.
He still got it,
Held
though,
it
bro.
up.
Carrie Ann Hoskins,
It's the first
bro.
time I've seen blood in a video game.
Blood
To this
flying
day.
out of these people's heads.
My parents
still
were
got it.
very worried about the violence.
I don't want you guys playing this. It sounds bad. Finish him.
The game narrator instructs the player to finish his opponent.
oh my God, I didn't know that you could do that.
It was a mega hit, game after game after game.
It's amazing. I
It
could have
still
never
is, but-
imagined how big it has all become.
It was, is, and always will be a fighting game for everyone.
Mortal Kombat 2
Funny
was
to think
really
that
set it
all
off,
started
though.
from, like 4 guys in Chicago that just wanted to make a cool martial arts game.
And don't be.
Yeah, I wish they could just have just the video. You know?
My parents were both born in Dominican Republic.
There's people on YouTube that has all the videos on a regular videos. You can just watch it. They should. Hopefully, we can have them do that. Have them just put it on there so you can just skip the art. You can just go to the video, just watch the whole documentary, which is really good. You see the arcade cabinet control panel? That's exactly how my fight stick is, to the T. Colors, run button. Only thing I have extra is 2 buttons to the far right, the blue button, because you need it for modern games. So the spacing is out for it, so that's what it is.
And they had they were both doctors. I'm one of 5 kids. My older brother and older sister were born in Dominican Republic, and I was the first one born in Chicago, in Rogers Park, Chicago. And my brother and sister followed, Mike Boone, who I've been working with for 20-something years now.
So we spent a lot of time playing computer games. We had the old consoles. We had a Bally Astrocade.
The Bally Astrocade was a video game system that had a cartridge that was basic programming.
And you know, you have the little plastic overlay you put over the keyboard, and you could type in basic programs, and we would write little games.
And that was my first exposure to what a computer program is, the idea of creating something digitally by yourself, moving a pixel on the screen and whatnot. It just kind of taps into your brain of, oh, I have control over this. And that's probably where I really got hooked on the idea of being able to control things on a TV. All of my friends already had jobs waiting for them, getting out of school, and I didn't. I made one resume my entire life. I had one resume, and at the very bottom, I had a little asterisk that said, strong interest in video games. I got a call from a headhunter saying, are you interested in working at Williams Electronics? And at the time, I knew exactly what Williams Electronics was. They were Defender, Stargate, Robotron, Joust, Sinistar, Moon Patrol. You know, there was 100 games that I was aware of that they.
Bro, I ain't hit no button.
Worked on. I knew the people.
Those were exciting days of.
You need to watch this to learn the history.
There's Eugene Jarvis, there's Sal DeVita, Mark Trammell, Warren Davis. You're working alongside people that created the games that you grew up with.
I went there thinking that I was interviewing for a programmer's job, a video game programmer's job. And they were like, no, this is for pinball. Are you still interested? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And there was a part of my brain behind me that was like, you know, eventually I'd like to get into video games, but it sounds like a fun job nonetheless. My first pinball machine was a game called Millionaire. That was kind of like how I got my foot in the door. I was just learning how to, you know, turn on lamps and flash bulbs and do special effects and whatnot. Eugene Jarvis was working down the hall from me on a game called F-14 Tomcat. He was working on a pinball machine, and Eugene asked me
Classics,
if I could do
Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3.
For that game. It had some really
Dude, the
cool
arcade era
effects, and so
is
everybody started
unmatched.
asking me to do
It will never
special
be
effects
like
for their
nothing like that
games.
again.
I became the special effects guy.
I met Ed Boon the day he arrived at Williams. He was a really nice guy, young and naive, and smart as hell. And we had a great time working on Black Knight with Larry Tomorrow.
Eugene had gone full time into working on NARC, and again, this wasn't just a video game. This was a whole operating system and hardware. He eventually gave me a hardware system in my office while I was programming pinballs, and then on the side I would just be like making packets of dollar signs exploding that they were using in NARC when you would drop money and whatnot. And so I was just messing around with that and was really getting excited about the notion of working on video games. And at some point there was an understanding that when
I would love to have a
Black Knight,
Mortal Kombat
I would
arcade
join
collection
the
like that.
video game department to work on high impact football with Eugene in about 1990, I would guess.
Like I would just like to have just one arcade cabinet, like make a new one and just have all the boards in it. See, but now if they make these they get this game fixed. You can make one, bro. And this is the NARC stuff. I did play that game. It was pretty good for its time.
The ashes of the video crash were still smoking a little bit. The whole industry,
The 80s video crash was-
console and arcade and everything, we've been rehashing the same.
Are they just Galloping Ghost
simple,
arcade in
you know,
Chicago?
character-based
The only like
games,
real big
and
arcade
as far as
stuff.
character art. At this era, the Japanese were really dominating things, and they had just amazing artists, and we really didn't have that resource in the U.S. And so it was, how do we compete? You know, I was like thinking, well, why does everything have to be some kind of fantasy or, you know, men in tights or little cute characters running around the screen? Why can't we get Dirty Harry for the arcade? You know, it's like, and by doing live action, we don't need all these animators. Technology was moving and digitization was starting to happen. So NARC was kind of born out of that.
Back in the day, Contra and all
We
that
were
games.
envisioning what is the next step. The idea of doing
This is
digitized
before like Ninja Turtles and
well,
stuff. I
one
think.
thing is it would require more than 16 colors. The next step in our hardware design, we knew back in like 86, maybe 87, was going to be 256 colors.
Pixel art is great, but Warren's tools made it possible for us to capture video and then edit that video in a way where we could select the frames very easily.
Eugene wrote the operating system. I wrote the display system.
It was very early, and there was only a few boards that would do this, and they were very, you know, touchy, and, you know, there was no tools, there was no Photoshop, there was no Maya. So Warren was really instrumental in creating that pipeline.
We couldn't grab real time off of a videotape, but we could videotape whatever we wanted and then still frame and grab individual frames. We've got the actual image, which is thousands.
All right, y'all. We need people to buy the game. You can wait. I know there's problems, but the documentary and all the features that Digital Eclipse put in this game, it's great. Steam is definitely the best place to get it. The input latency is the least, and it feels the best. There's no online. It's online, but there's no. You can't play with your friends yet, but that should be coming soon. They did have to crunch to get this. What they should have done is cut those portable games out. They had to crunch within a year. They had to make this. They should have cut the portable games out. You should have just made Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, and 4 and let it rock. You could have had the lobbies and all that shit done. You didn't need the Game Boys. You didn't need none of that. I know some people's first games was a Game Boy, Game Gear. You didn't need the Deception shit. Portable joint. You didn't need none of that. You should have just did the main 4. For the first 3, like Super Nintendo, Genesis, whatever. Just the main 4. You should have just put in. We need them to make a second Legacy collection or DLC for the Xbox and PS2 era games. We need it. We need the 3D era trilogy. Deception, Deadly Alliance, Armageddon. We need those 3. Shaolin Monks. Those 4 games. That's what we need for another collection. So I know the reviews are bad. It's because the consoles version suck. Hopefully they get it fixed. We need to get it hopefully by the end of this month. Before Black Friday. All the shit can be fixed and we can have lobbies and do all that shit. Cause people wants to play like tournaments with friends and watch. It's not Digital Eclipse's fault. Some of it is, but it's also WB's not giving them enough time. But we want the second collection, bro. Like I played the second collection not as much as the first arcade ones, Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. Like I really didn't play Mortal Kombat 4. I was doing different things, so I didn't. Plus they switched to the quasi 3D, and I didn't like 3D games. But then you get the Xbox, and you get the 3D era one. So we need people to buy it. I know a lot of people bought 3 or 4 copies. Like the collectors and digital and deluxe editions. Like I did. I bought the collectors, the deluxe, an Xbox physical, and a Steam digital. So I think I got the PC. I don't know which one did I get. I think I got the PC. I got the Xbox collectors with the regular cover. And then I got another Xbox with the Sub-Zero cover. And the deluxe, I got the PS5 because they didn't make an Xbox one. I was like, fuck, bro. It's so dumb. I would have got another cover. If they made an Xbox, I would have got a different, like a Scorpion cover. But it is what it is. But we need to, us Mortal Kombat fans, we want this to be great. So we need, hopefully they get it fixed. And we can get a second one. That's what we need. Or have them put it in this collection. It could be DLC. We need those 4 games: Deception, or Deadly Alliance, Deception, Armageddon, Shaolin Monks. Those 4, and maybe, and this is a big maybe, they might do it separately. Mortal Kombat 9. They could probably sell Mortal Kombat 9 separate by itself. Make 9 and Mortal Kombat X a package or something like that. Hey, do 3. Make the Legacy collection. You can put DLC or whatever, but we need it.
Thousands of colors that an Amiga can generate, but then how do we turn that into 256? So I started exploring these algorithms to quantize or reduce colors from thousands to the best palette of 256 colors.
And there was always big problems with noise and getting washed out images, and the color was crappy, and
there's all sorts of tear and jitter and blur because VHS is terrible quality. But that's what we had at the start.
The development of the studio and the techniques that we utilized.
John Tobias.
Folks like Warren Davis
Exactly.
or Mark Lafredo. These
Two
are the
goats.
guys working on the hardware and the software that we worked
Hey,
on.
there's still an NRS
If
and
you
John
think about
Tobias
me
left.
At the time I was like, 20, 21 years
Over
old.
creative
And so
differences,
I was
I'm pretty
literally
sure.
just
But
inheriting
I'm glad they
all this work that had been done
reconciled.
for me. And I mean, I think we all like to talk and fantasize about this garage development mentality and stuff, but really there was there were tools and things that were happening behind the scenes that we benefited from.
Again, Eugene Jarvis with like his just kind of overall direction and focus. A guy named Todd Allen, who literally wrote a debugger. To this day, I'm just amazed at everything that he's done. And Warren, he made it possible. Like if Warren didn't do what he did, I don't know if we would have been able to have done Mortal Kombat.
And yeah, and Warren was always around, so that whenever we wanted anything else, a request came up, we just went over his office and talked to him, and to be like, yeah, okay, give me a day, I'll have that for tomorrow. It's like, tomorrow, okay, great.
Besides being an amazing programmer and creating Qbert and
Dude, arcades was the shit, bro.
And just being like,
WrestleMania and arcades, the Simpsons game, Turtles. Oh, it was so fun with
really
4 people, bro.
He's one of my favorite people in the world.
X-Men. Oh, God, bro. It was the life.
What I did for Mortal Kombat. I don't talk about
Meeting people. Now it's just online. You don't know.
I say there's a lot of people in my life. They didn't know about Qbert until they've known me for like 5 or more years. And then they would be like, wait a minute, you made Qbert? So I'm like, well, it never came up in conversation. I just don't.
So many great games back in the day.
I do have to say,
so many
I am
great
very
games.
proud of my contribution to Mortal Kombat. A lot of people talk about digitized graphics, but it's like they just existed. It's like they just came out of nowhere. No, you don't.
Yeah, that changed the
people don't
game.
think
Digitized
that they came
graphics.
from somebody or from somewhere.
NBA Jam. You forget about dude. NBA Jam was the shit, bro. Pit Fighter. I think this is one of the first ones that had it. Not the first one, but you can see it was a lot different than the sprites of everyone else. High Impact Football. Ed Boon's first video game joint. It was pretty good. It was pretty fun.
I was born and raised in Chicago. I grew up on the city's near west side, which was I was maybe a
Chicago,
mile
the
and a half
home of
away
Mortal
from
Kombat.
the United Center. It was a fairly rough neighborhood, but from my earliest days, I started, drawing. Probably started with a crayon or something, and found myself inspired by cartoons. Anything I saw on TV. I remember Popeye was a big thing that I watched a lot. Seeing Bruce Lee on the Batman television series was a big thing for me. I didn't know who he was. And this was when I discovered, he's this thing called a martial artist. That was the birth of my Kung Fu consciousness. Whenever I watched a TV show that excited me or something.
Yeah, like all these Kung Fu martial art movies that came out in the early 80s, in the late 80s, you can see it in Mortal Kombat. There's a lot of great movies. There's a lot of Bruce Lee movies and like overseas movies that you didn't see, but the ones that came to America, like Big Trouble in Little China, that highly influenced Mortal Kombat. If you know, you know. Highly. And that's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch that shit.
A movie that excited me, the first thing I did was draw a picture and try to retell those stories as comic books. For some reason, the most difficult thing for me was to find stuff to draw on. Paper was at a premium, so whenever I could get paper, I would draw on it. I would draw on the backs of things. I'd draw on magazines, whatever I had. Paper seemed to be expensive. Growing up in the city, graffiti art was a big thing that was happening at the time, especially in the early 80s. A lot of the time, we would do stuff, on the sneak. And then I think we discovered after a while, if you just knock on a door and ask, a lot of times they'll let you paint a mural on the side of their business or whatever it was. And so we did a lot of murals in the mid-late 80s. But I was a huge comic book reader, both DC and Marvel, and found a lot of inspiration from the comic book artists who were popular at the time. And so, of course, it was my dream to illustrate comic books, and eventually actually got a job doing it, and used that money to kind of pay my way through school. Most of the work I did was for a comic book called The Real Ghostbusters, based on the cartoon that was out at the time. I was still at the American Academy of Art, so I was still in college, and I was still illustrating the Ghostbusters comic book, when a friend of mine who I met at the American Academy of Art named John Vogel got a job at Williams Electronics doing pixel art for video games.
He had
background
gotten a
artist.
job at Now Comics, and he wanted me to help him with real Ghostbusters. And I was like, sure. So he got me an interview at Now Comics. Then once I got my job at Williams Valley Midway, you know, Mark Trammell now needs an artist. Who can we get?
Mark
to
Trammell.
And I'm like, I know a guy that's
It'd be a
doing the
jam.
Ghostbusters comic book, you know.
And John called me up and said that they were looking for another artist. When I was hired at Williams, it was to work on Smash TV. And so I interviewed with Mark, I interviewed with Eugene Jarvis.
Amazing guy, amazing artist, working on Smash TV. He came up with this animation that the character, as he exploded, the eyeball came up right facing you in the face. And basically he had to, 3D rotate all this stuff. Like the man was a human 3D rendering system. The guy's a genius.
So Smash TV was a lot of fun to work on, a lot of hand-drawn pixel sprites, very small graphics in terms of the character art that I was creating. I know that in the back of my mind, I still wanted to do comic book art, but I fell in love with video games and the folks that I worked with at Williams, and I knew right away that, hey, this is the place for me.
And Tobias. Too bad they broke up, bro. Pretty sure they'll go over it. Smash TV, you want to see that? This was when Street Fighter 2 came out, that's what changed everything right here, boy. And I'm not gonna lie, Street Fighter, I played that a lot too. But I just liked Mortal Kombat better.
North California Avenue went back to the 40s. That's where Harry Williams and Lynn Durant had started United Manufacturing.
I was always obviously a big fan of Midway, and I always knew it was on California, and I would drive by and it's like, oh, that's this magic place, and that's where these amazing games were made.
It was weird. It's very Chicago. It's gritty. The paint is from it's government green from 1947.
It was in the pinball factory.
So you walk into the front door and through the factory to get to our offices in the back.
I mean, within a space of 20 feet, you go from silence to cacophony.
It was like an assembly line.
There were just Terminator 2s, just hundreds of them in line being developed, and all the sounds going off, terminated, and all the explosions going off. I was gobsmacked.
Miles and miles of wires and
a lot of fumes from the in-house plating facility, the stamping machines, the burning soldering irons.
Everything smacking into itself, just all these sounds. And
they actually had 50-ton metal presses stamping out pinball legs.
The factory still had dirt floor.
Throw things on the floor because somebody's going to come by and sweep it up.
So you have this catacomb.
At night when you're leaving and the lights are down, and it's like, wow, this would be a great setting for a horror movie or something.
And being a programmer, a lot of times we worked at night. That's when the rats would come out. They would grow to the size of a small cat. But I remember the vending machines, rats could jump up and get the product. So it'd have to be only the top 2 or 3 rows you could put a candy bar or something. And even then, sometimes you would buy something and it would just be a wrapper.
There used to be a cafeteria upstairs with a private chef.
And the food was delicious. They had it down. We never left the building, okay? We had half an hour to suck it up and get out and go back to work.
Then you'd make it to your office. And the offices were pretty Spartan. They were rough.
The work on video games happened in what we called downstairs. Upstairs was all of engineering.
Everybody had an office, so it was almost like a dorm.
The first time I remember meeting Ed was when John Bogle and I had shared an office.
So I feel like I was involved with Smash TV and Total Carnage because I could see it being made. Ed Boon, I didn't know anything about him. I mean, he was a programmer in the pinball department at that point.
Ed was coming down from the pinball department to work in the video game department.
To work on high impact football with Eugene. Right next door to me, there was a double office, and it had John Tobias and John Bogle.
And there was a doorway between the 2 offices that was kind of kept closed. he cranked his music really loud. And I remember he poked his head in and he said, hey, is that too loud? Is the music too loud? And we said, it's a little loud. So he went in and like lowered the music, and he came back, he's like, is that too loud? So anyway, that's the first time I met Ed. And after that, I think Ed started hanging around with the group of us, and we all kind of became fast friends.
And I was mainly software. Those guys were mainly art. So, we had different perspectives and whatnot, just as any group of, guys in their 20s. A lot of conversations started up about movies and video games and wouldn't it be cool and things like that.
You could hear conversations of all the different games going on. There was only like 2 or 3 games going on. And then we would all kind of like give each other ideas for stuff. It was a very collaborative environment.
The environment was beautiful. Good enough to make a video game, and
it didn't feel like a job.
All the magic that was happening there. Somehow the walls kind of absorbed all of it.
The golden days where everybody has smartphones.
At that point, John was finishing Total Carnage and I was finishing Super High Impact.
Like around attack my ball. Games were fun. These games were fun, bro.
About what would become Mortal Kombat. I think
nice, easy games to
play. The initial conversation was about, hey, wouldn't it be cool to do a one-on-one fighting game?
John and I were talking about a game called Street Fighter, who had really big characters. The thing that stood out for us about Street Fighter was they had really big characters.
Street Fighter 2 was definitely.
For me, it was anything to get away from the little tiny character sprites that I had done in the last 2 games.
And we were saying, how cool would it be to have our digitized characters?
Street Fighter was kind of fantastical hand animation, beautiful stuff, but their vision was, let's take this photorealistic system we have now and have a photorealistic fighting game.
For me, it was the opportunity to take all this inspiration from all the Kung Fu films that I grew up watching and kind of throwing it into a game.
The conversation went towards Jean-Claude Van Damme. At some point, just fixated on the idea of doing a photorealistic Van Damme fighting game. And we put a presentation together when we gave it to Roger Sharp.
We're thinking of Jean-Claude Van Damme. Let's see if he's interested.
The reason we made a video to pitch to Jean-Claude Van Damme was because another team at Midway had done the same thing with a Terminator arcade game as well as Revolution X to Aerosmith. And so we decided just to go that route because they were having success with doing that. We found the movie Bloodsport, and we basically grabbed a number of frames of him just kind of getting into a fighting stance pose, and we put the power bars and we kind of mocked up what a generic fighting game screen. And again, just to give him the idea of what the game would look like, how he would be the star, and how realistic the graphics would be.
And I reached out, and it wasn't a no. Whether or not things didn't happen quickly enough, I don't think that it was ever like a door closed. John and Ed thought, Roger, just forget it. Because I think we just kind of left it.
So that was just kind of like the way that you would pitch an idea. But as far as to management, my recollection was that we never gave a formal presentation. Street Fighter was really big, and when we said we want to do a fighting game like this with our graphics, there wasn't much convincing that needed to be done. It was, yes, that obviously is a really cool idea.
I thought it was a fantastic idea, and I knew that I had to still finish Total Carnage, and I know Ed was still working on High Impact. But I think that was the beginning of the conversation.
Maybe our next game could be this fighting game.
Getting to the good parts, baby.
The team on Mortal Kombat 1 was 4 of us.
My name is Ed Boone. I'm co-designer and programmer. My name's Dan Forden, and I do sound and music. John Vogel, background special effects. John Tobias, and co-designer and lead artist.
There was other
sort of mad cold when they was doing that shit.
That was had to do more with like the cabinet and the wire.
Windy City.
A team being composed of, I think, 4, 5, 6 people was not uncommon.
You were in one of 2 categories: programmer or artist, and that was basically it. Everything felt like, you know, being in a rock band or something. You know, just a very few number of guys. He's guitar, he's drum, he's, you know, we all had our own jobs to do, and you know, we'd fight with each other, and we'd hang out with each other and go see movies with each other and stuff. And
certainly when I started working on Smash TV, it was myself, Mark Turmel, and I think there was maybe one other programmer at the time, and then Eugene Jarvis eventually came on.
You know, partly it was just the simplicity of the games of that era. 8-bit, you know, pixel art, that a lot of the animation was just done with graph paper. Say Defender, you know, all the animations of that game could be done in a week.
A lot of people think that, you know, somebody up high says you're going to make a fighting game and you're going to call it Mortal Kombat and it's going to look like this, and then we go okay and do it. That's not how it worked at all.
It's a bit of the Wild West. There wasn't rules. There wasn't any well, this is how you make a video game. Everybody made it differently, and as long as cool new stuff was showing up on your screen every once in a while, you know, management would, you know, peek their head in. Oh, you got fatalities going. Good job. And then they'd leave, and you just continue with it.
Win. It was so pure. You didn't have to, you know, have a committee meeting every time you wanted to add a feature. And
things were so loose back then. There wasn't really a workflow. It was like, hey, we need to get something done. Just do it.
It was just like, yeah, let's try this out, you know, and see if it works.
And I think maybe a part of it was also that I wasn't conscious of, might have been to keep costs down. I know what my salary was at the time. I don't know what Ed's salary was, but I have to believe that the development of MK, in terms of the cost of us, had to have been, I don't know, you know, not much. And I remember at the end of my first year working at Midway, I was doing my taxes. My dad was helping me do my taxes. When I started at Williams, I was making $19,000 a year. He knew the hours I was putting in, you know, and we did the math, and I was making probably $2 an hour is what I was making working at Williams, and I didn't care. You know, I love the work so much.
I know it's not a popular topic, but like, you know, the overnighters and the, you know, going out for breakfast, you know, nobody told us to do that. Nobody said stay till midnight tonight. If anything, they were, you know, you guys are burning yourselves out and you gotta take it easy or something. So.
Because of the schedules and because of how few people there were.
And isn't this ironic right here? They overdid, stayed late, did all this. Now the management is not letting them have the time to do what they want to do. Just get it out. Just get it out. Yeah, I guarantee if Ed Boon really had the power at WB, like if he was an independent studio and he had the power, I guarantee all these games wouldn't be fucked up like they are. But look at Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, and look at all them games. It is what it is. I hope someone. I really don't want them to happen, but I just want somebody to buy them and let them do what they can do. Let Ed Boon bring back John Tobias, bring back everybody, and let them make the greatest Mortal Kombat game ever. Like a new era Armageddon. That's what we want. Pretty sure Injustice 3 is coming up next, because I like Injustice. But give us a Mortal Kombat Armageddon. I think they're gonna do it maybe after the next Mortal Kombat, like Mortal Kombat 2 of the new shit. They shouldn't have named it 1, bro. That's but they have a lot. But I don't think they can get all the licensed characters in there, bro. Like Alien, Predator, all of them, and put them in all the. That would be so tight. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
And we were all playing multiple roles, wore multiple hats, that there was just too much work. And it wasn't like we were being made to do this. It was an art, it was a craft, and it was a labor of love. So we were so passionate that we spent, you know, all of our waking hours and our sleeping hours in the studio.
Some people look back and they go, oh, that was, you know, that was abuse or something like that. It's like, no, we were guys in our 20s who were motivated to do something cool. You were working on Liu Kang's, flying kick, and it was feeling good, and you wanted to keep perfecting it. And it was my obsession. It was like being paid to do a hobby. If a band is up all night learning a song, they want to nail it. And it's the exact same thing. It's completely self-motivated.
Back then, it was nothing but fun. It was just, working there was just hilarious. Well, the secret sauce was basically we were just a bunch of knuckleheads doing whatever we wanted, and we were happy.
Exactly. But then the arcades started to die, and the internet took over the home consoles, and it killed the arcade, bro. Dude, I haven't really played these games on this arcade in a minute, bro. I'm gonna be ass at this Mortal Kombat. I already know. I used to be pretty decent at Mortal Kombat 2. Right. Jang Kun. See, Raiden, R-A-I-D-E-N, no Raiden. Got a cage.
My job on MK1 was basically to do backgrounds. Like John would do characters and I would do the backgrounds. Things were very simple back then, like.
One more time. That's great.
He would choose which frames he wanted to use and then cut the background away from the characters. And that was his job,
Literally after we shot the footage, I think maybe that night or the next day, I started stripping frames right away.
Marianne Hoskins.
We did a lot of playing around with lighting. We were just sort of discovering. I think we probably taped more than we needed just to make sure that we got enough coverage.
I remember after the Sonya's leg grab, having to say something along the lines of, trust us, it's going to be really cool. The image was clear in my head. Sometimes we forget that it's not inside everybody's head.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, now once from the middle, all you have to do is just line right there.
Okay, can you do that, or is that
The beginning part.
She should do it from the stance.
Right.
We were trying to get a film-like quality, but we wanted to just amp it up a little bit.
Dude, imagine they do that now, bro. I know the graphics are so good, but
attracted people.
imagine having it
that
digitized now.
Also our trademark.
A lot of the character design that I did for Mortal Kombat was based on the limitations of the hardware. So I knew that we had a limited color palette that we could work with. I knew that the pixel resolution kind of restricted what we were capable of doing. So bold colors, simple shapes would distinguish one character from another would be important. And I knew that a color palette that would distinguish one character from another was also important. And I was careful not to repeat those things.
The thing about the ninjas was, the nature of them, as you know, there were palette swaps of each other. It was all to save memory. It was a very precious thing in our arcade games. And so Scorpion and Sub-Zero, they were the same character with different colors. John wrote this amazing backstory behind them, making them enemies, and that added to the mystique of the characters.
In one of the pages of my notebook, I had scribbled, okay, here are the characters and here are their archetypes. I knew that, well, we need a hero, we need a villain, we need a sidekick, we need all these things. I was a big Joseph Campbell fan. I had read his books, and I was aware of the hero's journey and the character archetypes that he had sort of outlined. I thought, okay, well, if we could tell implicit story through character archetypes, the players might sort of almost subconsciously relate to the characters in a particular way. So that played a part in sort of the character choices we made. I don't recall exactly why we did some characters and not others. I know that we were limited with the number of characters we could do. A few of them I remember not using. One of them was a character called Minamoto Yoshitsune, who was based on a Japanese mythological character. And another one was called Rakuro, who was based on, I think, a Japanese mythological beasts. Those two characters didn't make it in. I think part of it was because the names became a big deal for us. It's like, you know, how does this name roll off the tongue? You know, if a name was too long, we knew it was going to be difficult to display on the health meters. It was usually silly things like that would play a part in some of the choices we made.
Most of the characters' names came from John Tobias. A couple of the characters, he didn't have a name written down for them. He had Ninja 1 and Ninja 2. I was a little bit more of like a simple superhero mindset, so I started calling them Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Those simple names were kind of like my influence, but the authentic cool names, Goro, Shang Tsung, Kano, Raiden, you know, that was John's deal.
For Mortal Kombat 1, there wasn't a lot in the way of concept art that we did. Conceptualization was just limited to just scribblings in a notepad.
Too bad the fucking Mortal Kombat book is ass, bro. I was gonna get it, but now see they got all of it. They cheaped out. They hired this shitty company to make this shitty ass book. And it uses AI, not just upscaling. Like upscaling is fine. It's making it digitized and make it look modern. This is like pure AI just making it say, tell the AI, make a picture of this, make a picture of that. And it's ass. But the people that really did the research and they can't put it out. They have a great book. I wish they can at least put the PDF out, bro. Something. Put it somewhere so we can see it. You can see it because they do a flip through the book, but dude, I wish we can get that book. This Mortal Kombat book is ass, what we got.
I don't remember many, if any, drawings of backgrounds, but there may have been some. I just remember kind of like I said, just winging it and doing whatever. Like John would say, I'd like a dungeon or something, and that became Goro's lair, you know. I had already learned how to do the parallax scrolling stuff from Terminator 2, so that worked out well with doing parallax stuff for Mortal Kombat as well. I know there was one specific background that he wanted, and that was with statues, the statue background. Just make something look cool. That was basically the rule. I went to Chinatown, and just to get references and stuff, there would be, you know, an interesting vase, and I would video that vase, and then I use that, and that's Shang Tsung's one of Shang Tsung's thrones.
And his culture is so fire.
You know, there's the dragon that was sitting on Ken Fedesna's desk. I just said, hey, can I video that? And he's like, cool. So I grabbed it off his desk, took it to my office, and grabbed it. That's like in one of the backgrounds, and you know, there's two of them. You know, and then there's the pagoda in Chinatown that I videoed that and used that as, you know, the courtyard, I guess we call it, I think. You know, Shang Tsung is also in another chair, and it's that big roof thing. That's from Chicago. That's from Chinatown. So sometimes it meant opening a book and going, oh, that's a cool Chinese thing. You know, get the camera, take video of it, and use that. There are things from books in Mortal Kombat 1. You know, I just went out and grabbed stuff. What looks cool? Kind of a guerrilla artsy sort of way. It wasn't really planned all that much back then.
But that's what I just showed. All the stuff they showed. There's no sketches of Goro. Fire. Goro live.
One of the really cool things about Mortal Kombat and about
Dude,
some of the really great
it was
games,
so. Dude, this
you have a
game came out
really
was a
great
phenomenal.
winning concept. Often, you know, they got that game running in like a month. A lot of modern games, it seems like they spend all their time in this graphical wilderness trying to get everything looking so cool, and then they've got like 3 weeks left to figure out what the game is.
We had a very fast iteration. I would get art from John. You know, we put it in, and an hour later, we were playing it.
Raiden wins.
The first time you play
What
it,
is what is that? What
This is incredible.
What does he say? Anybody know?
You knew you were on the right course.
Ed was like just eager to have people in and give him feedback on stuff.
A lot of times it was just, you know, someone, you'd have someone in your office to look at something and they go, hey, what about this? And then, you know, maybe that's a good idea.
Ideas could come and be turned into reality in the same day.
Yeah,
basically.
in fact, I remember we would record a little bit of footage.
Okay, one more time. All right, that's good.
And it wasn't until Ed actually got the frames and could get them in the game, not until that point would we know that we were making the right choices.
When we were making this game, Street Fighter II was the big rage, and I was a huge admirer of that game. At the same time, I felt like there was a little bit more ceiling room in terms of how outrageous you can get with the moves. Hey, we wanted characters using magic, disappearing, teleporting, doing all these kind of unpredictable things. And a lot of the moves were constructed from kind of almost like scraps. Kano's ball was from his flipping animation. Scorpion's teleport was from his jump punch animation.
You know, Scorpion throwing a spear and pulling somebody in, that, you know.
It was something that I remember I thought of that was just an outrageous move that wasn't seen in any other fighting game.
Right, although we used to try to do the wind up and the throw is usually like 5 frames maybe. Like if you went like
yeah, something like that.
It was one of those spur of the moment inspirational ideas that ended up becoming like very signature, very iconic to Mortal Kombat.
The way he was implementing them was so interesting because he uses the frames of animation, and he was, as a programmer, would move them around to do things. Like he would define like how.
Oh, DeVito was in
things
NBA
animated
Jam too.
across
They
the
all the
screen.
programmers in NBA
When
Jam.
he did the
I don't remember that
Liu Kang
shit.
flying kick. You got to stop him once he makes contact, and it'll make the impact feel like it's a lot more intense and more forceful. Iterating again and again how important it is that we get the timing of all these things correct.
Other than, you know, how John would define what the actual frames of animation were, Ed defined how things moved around.
There's little nuances that are put into the game that a lot of players don't identify, but they just know that it feels good, and they're not sure why.
I think that was a hard lesson to learn back in the day of, hey, I want this animation to be really smooth and I want it to be like 100 frames. And it's like, no, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. And it has to feel good.
Like it's got to have impact. Impact and drama, you know, that's what people are going to respond to.
Get over here, you know, the uppercut was such a big, ridiculous reaction.
Getting the animation of the character launching him into the air, putting the blood on it, being knocked down, and
they shake the screen,
and the sound call that Dan Forden did.
It's like, no, we need like a really big sound for a hit. It's like, okay, so I made like a really big sound for a hit. The scream of the attacker. the victim, you know, yelling as he flies away. Put all that stuff together, it's like boom. It's like, oh my God.
I remember we were just walking around just doing uppercuts again and again and going, you know, God, that feels so good. That feels so good.
That's how people knew when something was cool in any game. People would be like, holy smokes. And now you know you have something. And then, so that, and then the fatality.
Like fatalities.
Dude, that was
the thing that made us a hit.
Yes. Dude, learning fatalities, people used to have in Mortal Kombat 2 is really where it started. People that knew, I think they knew the operators, so they knew the arcade, and I guess they learned on the moves. They could probably stay in there late doing all the moves and shit. They used to sell the moves list on pieces of paper, print it out. People used to do it in the backpack. Hey, you want to know all the moves, all the characters, fatalities, everything? Hey. It was real, man. That was the hustle. Like selling candy at school.
One more time. All right, that's cool. Do ninjas ever have this? That was cool, man. What was that?
Arrow, whatever, it's stuck into the other guy. And it dragged him across the
Didn't you say?
Right, although we used to try to do the wind up and throw is usually like 5 frames maybe. Like if you went like
Yeah, something like that. You can do the wind up. Maybe something more like you do like this, because you know what I'll do? I'll like trail the rope.
Right. Can you make where you throw the plane like I want the thing to hit the guy in the chest, you know? Because we have a bunch of frames and we use that as a drag. So when you stop, your arm is parallel with your chest as opposed to way down here.
Okay, so try to do it chest level. A little bit more of a wind up. So that would be alright, because I could do like a little thing of the rope, more like this, like a little snake thing. Oh, you know what? Wait, you know what we should do? After he does that, we should have him do. Or
I think he has to like.
Yeah. Okay. So do the throw, and then we need some kind of throw back.
Put your hands together and do that.
Okay. Yeah.
When you try to wind up with a little more like right now you're kind of just going.
This was fired. They captured this, bro. Get over here. The possible control layout using 7 buttons: low, medium, high punches. Plus a block button. Damn, that would have been kind of like Street Fighter. In the 5-button layout what we currently have. Yeah, that definitely would have been not cool. Maybe they could have did it if they did it 3 across, 3 bottom like the Street Fighter layout, and the block button in the middle. That could have worked. Yeah, a lot of people couldn't do fatalities, bro. I couldn't do fatalities for the longest time.
I loved and hated at the same time. You can get your opponent dizzy. I loved the fact when I was the aggressor and saw my opponent dizzy, You're almost like salivating at this free hit that you get. And then I hated the idea of being the victim. I put the dizzy feature at the end of the fight. You just get like one last hit, and everybody would do an uppercut as your kind of like payoff. We had a feature that we had dropped in the game where Shang Tsung, when he would defeat you, he would take a sword out and he would like cut your head off. And we weren't going to use it because we were out of space, but we still had the animations of all the characters falling to their knees without a head. One day I just kind of piecemealed the idea of Johnny Cage uppercutting the opponent with his uppercut animation, and then using the animations of the character with his head, you know, cut off.
Johnny Cage wins. Flawless victory fatality.
I showed it to John, I showed it to the rest of the team, and everybody lost their mind, and we have to do this. The fact that we gave the players the ability to actually perform this kind of death blow, this kind of killing move, was really the birth of that idea. Some people were kind of like saying, I don't think we can get away with, you know, letting the player kill the other player. So we showed it to management, and they loved it.
I was surprised that we could include the level of you know, blood spattering around that we did. But of course, you know, when I was working on Mortal Kombat, I had just come from Smash TV and Total Carnage. And so, you know, the levels of blood spattering around the screen wasn't new to me.
From that point on, it was, okay, now we got to think of fatalities for all the characters. Some of the later characters, we actually grabbed animations of them, you know, Kano ripping the heart out, Sonya doing the kiss of death and all that. The spine rip was a suggestion from John Tobias, referencing the movie Predator, and he said, why don't we do what they did in Predator, where you pull it.
It's just like, oh, it was just like, oh my God.
And I remember saying, you know, I think that's probably crossing a line. We can't do it. Again, once we mocked it up, put it into the game, you know, there was no turning back. Everybody was just losing their mind.
And if anything, I felt like there was a bit of encouragement coming from other folks, you know,
they're trying to get better and better.
Just because of the excitement that it drew from the players.
Everybody had to see this. No one had ever seen somebody removing someone's spinal cord. It really, it's interesting. It made it so much more emotional. It just like, you're just like, yeah, you know, it's almost like that barbaric, primal.
Yeah, when you first did that shit in arcades, bro, and people were then watching you do that shit, bro.
We never performance
Speed
captured
breaker.
a fatality for Liu Kang, but there were some animations.
He's a dev.
One of them was this really
In
cool
RS.
cartwheel kick.
Whoa. Yeah, let's grab that again, even if we don't use it. We'll use it someplace.
We were both like, wow, we'll find a place for that. When it came time to do Liu Kang's fatality, we just spliced on the uppercut animation at the end of it, and it wasn't disgusting, it wasn't gross, it wasn't shocking.
Liu Kang wins.
And we just kind of reasoned with ourselves to say, well, Liu Kang's the hero, he's a Shaolin monk, he's peaceful, heroes don't kill people, so we just give him a big uppercut. The process of adding fatalities into the game created so much energy in the whole studio in terms of their excitement for the game that we knew there was no backing out of it at that point.
Again, you're in a very small screen environment. You really have to exaggerate things. You have to make it just outrageous.
Scorpion wins.
We found the Holy Grail. It's like hitting the lottery. You know, it was something that we knew was going to be a signature part of Mortal Kombat.
I always judge a great game by how loud players get when they play. You yell at your friends and laugh, and the volume level is a measure of a good game for me.
And like I said, it was just fun and it was happy.
Digital
And that
clips.
may be the secret sauce.
Again, when you see people playing the game and they're losing their minds and they're reacting to it,
It really
there's
is.
your fuel.
The
There's your
arcade
fuel
games
for the next,
is unmatched, bro. Especially, dude, the arcade games, especially when it's a crowd, like people waiting to play. Like when Mortal Kombat first came out, it was like then Mortal Kombat 2, all the hype built, bro. And the graphics were so much better. The sound was so much better. There was more characters. It was ridiculous. During the weekends, bro, them games made mad fucking money, bro. It was crazy.
Who put the K in combat?
I did. I put the K in combat. I didn't come up with a name, but the K. This is my story. This is my memory, anyway.
I came up with mortal and the K instead of a C.
Yeah, well, you know what's gonna happen? We're gonna come up with all the names. We're all gonna like them, and Ed's gonna hate every one of them. Why? DEFCON is overused. Where? Everywhere. I've heard that so many times.
Yeah, every time you watch War Game.
Ed's probably right behind me, isn't he? Like, going, no, you didn't.
I think there's different stories going on. This is my recollection. It's been 30 years. We had a bunch of words written on a grease board.
We didn't have a name, so there was a bunch of possibilities, and one of them was Mortal Kombat.
Combat was written, I don't know if it had a K at the time, but Steve Ritchie, he said the words, "What about Mortal Kombat?"
They had combat on their whiteboard, but they were all a lot younger than me, and I'm not sure they ever heard of the phrase "they fought in Mortal Kombat," meaning somebody's gonna die. It is what this game is about. It's Mortal Kombat.
And when he said that, you know, from my perspective, it was like, whoa, there's the name right there. But I don't remember. Do you remember where the K came from?
Yeah. So yeah, what I remember was that, and then I think we went to legal with that name, Mortal Kombat with a C, and they came back and said no, because they couldn't trademark it, because it was, I guess, a common term. I remember it was John Vogel,
right,
who wrote the K.
Yeah, yeah.
And in fact, he might have done that before that conversation with the legal department.
As a joke, I was in the room with Ed, and as a joke, I changed the C to a K, and we were like laughing about it. Ha ha ha, that'd be funny. Oh, it's so stupid. And then so I said, all right, and I was putting it back to a C, and he goes, no, leave it. You know, just leave the K. And so that's my memory as how it happened.
No, it was me, because the C was like, I don't know, just look cooler with a K. That's my thoughts.
And then I think we went back to legal and said, what about if it has a K? And then they went away, and then they came back and said, yes, you can. If you put a K on it, we can trademark it.
Actually, John Vogel's involvement does ring a bell for me.
I don't think I was enamored with the K. I thought it was goofy. And then when the realization hit that, well, if we change it with a K, we can use Mortal Kombat. It's like,
yeah,
okay.
MK, you know?
I realized like Vogel was right.
Yeah.
So whether you hate me or love me for it, you know, now C's are now K's.
So now you know, and knowing is half the battle. That's gotta type. This documentary is really
The
good.
sound area. This is where they make all the sounds for the games.
I am an audio director here at Netherrealm.
Toasty!
Sound guy, you know.
Oh, he
I get the
retired from
voices in.
Netherrealm recently.
Dan shows you cool stuff every couple of days. He just comes in and you go, great, this is awesome. And he's a lot like Ed, where I just have this confidence that, you know, he's going to go away and come back with something spectacular.
That's the Johnny Cage Nut Crunch, I believe. Didn't someone make a candy bar, Johnny Cage Nut Crunch bar?
Again, we didn't know what we were doing, so it's just okay, it's a fighting game. A lot of yelling, a lot of pain.
We'll see what they say, what Raiden says. That's what I want to see.
You know, I don't think we had enough memory to record, okay, this is Scorpion's voice, this is Sub-Zero. So we just, like the men, we just mixed and matched. I think Sonya was the only female in the first one. So we had, obviously, a female voice for that. And that was hers. But the rest of them, I think, would just be shared. We'd just get the talent, which was just people around the studio. It's not like we were hiring people to come in and do this.
We recorded me as the announcer, as Shang Tsung. You know, Liu Kang wins.
Finish him.
Liu Kang wins. Fatality. You know, fatality. All of those kind of classic sound calls was me, because we didn't have somebody with a better voice. Later on, we found Steve Ritchie, who had a much better voice in terms of like an announcer.
Baraka wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
I did a terrible Bruce Lee impersonation for Liu Kang. I think I did a yell for Kano. Kano wins. But I was also the voice of Scorpion, you know, yelling, "Get over here."
We knew that.
I had worked with Dan Forden for many years at the time. I remember there was another sound guy who thought that was the stupidest thing in the world. And it kind of was, you know. Why would a ninja, you know, yell, "Get over here"? That's such a like an American kind of thing. Scorpion wins. The idea was, again, the outrageous presentation. We really wanted to have, you know, just yelling
Over the top
and
was made it.
loudness in general into the game. From something that became with such silly roots and beginnings, you can't imagine Scorpion not having the "Get over here."
Ed would get me, this is back in the days of VHS, right? He would get me a playthrough of the background that I'd be working on. These are the instruments that I have, and look at the background, trying to think of like, well, what makes sense musically.
And these made the moving backgrounds, bro. It was
the action of playing the game.
It was fire,
and
right?
what the music.
You had to be there.
Like get you
in arcade.
Ever since, I don't know, the 70s, early 70s even, but always liked progressive rock a lot. So a friend of mine turned me on to King Crimson in high school, and that's been like a love of mine ever since. And so there's no doubt that there's a lot of King Crimson influence in the Mortal Kombat music that I wrote over the years. You know, like the very first tune, it's a melody in a diminished scale, harmonized at the fifth. So that sounds like a lot of King Crimson stuff. I think they pretty much liked everything I did. I don't remember doing over too many things. Now and then there would be like, you know, maybe you should try this instead of that, and some sort of corrective feedback. But for the most part, it's just we were just kind of making it up as we went along.
The sound was really fire. This is really gets really interesting.
Testing a game was always one of the most fun parts of the job.
In the earliest days of Mortal Kombat development, the only place you could play the game was in Ed's office. I would play the game every day. Ed would call me in to try something out, and
Be the 5-button layout is fire.
Would walk by Ed's office and see what he was working on, and come in and play the game.
That right there is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Mortal Kombat 3. That's when they added the yellow run button.
Gene and Mark Trammell and
Which is regular 5 before that.
The other developers in the
First
office at the
two.
time. Eventually, we would put a game out in the hallway for anybody to play. And so we'd get pinball designers would come down and play the game. There were folks who worked in the factory would come back and they'd play the game. And so we'd watch folks kind of play the game, and we'd take notes on sort of, you know, what their reactions were. And then eventually that would lead to our first weekend test.
It was back when games were so simple.
Testing the game in the arcade was such a critical part of determining what's working.
Dude, it was mad lines, bro. We were playing Street Fighter, the Mortal Kombat game. It was
being on test is like one of the best parts, one of the most exciting parts of doing an arcade game.
Our first location test was a weekend test that we did, and that was done at an arcade called Times Square. It was a Friday night, so it was packed. The arcade was packed. And there was a crowd around the Street Fighter game. Street Fighter 2 was out at the time. And I just thought, there's no way these guys are coming over to play our game.
It was like this big event. The whole video game department would go, no matter whose game it was.
You'd roll a blank black cabinet into an arcade and just turn it on.
When we brought the first Mortal Kombat game out on test, there were 6 characters. We didn't have Sonya yet. A whole bunch of things just weren't working. And it was all about just kind of the fundamentals, the feel of it, the reaction to the visual, the reaction to blood.
That rush, that reverie, or the destruction and devastation if something doesn't work out, you know, like it's like, oh, we got to fix that, you know, and it hurts, you know, it feels bad.
I remember watching the first player, who was one of the guys from the crowd, walking over and looking at the attract mode and then dropping a token in and playing the game. And then I remember he walked over, tapped, fell on the shoulder, you know, called him over, and then the other guy came over, and then they played the game. And then slowly people migrated over.
Whenever you would see,
those aren't the original buttons.
Raiden do the dive move, you know, you'd hear an audible, you know, cheering or gasp.
How
did you do that?
Get the convex joint, concave, whatever which one. Whichever ones that goes
Easily the most enjoyable
sinks in.
part for me was seeing and hearing reactions from players.
And at some point, Ed, I think, went in and he did a fatality. Kind of a thing, and then he walked away, you know. Like, now it's a big frenzy to figure out, like, how do you do that? How do you do that? And that's how people found out about the fatalities, assuming my memory is correct, but I believe that's how it happened.
We would never perform fatalities in front of people because then someone's going to see you do it, right? Like, we wanted to launch the game and have people discover it naturally and organically.
Testing the first Mortal Kombat, there was a certain amount of anonymity, I guess you can say. Like, we could be in an arcade watching with a crowd of other people and be close enough in age to them that we just kind of blend in. You know, what is this new game? And then you would get a candid response. Once you tell them that you worked on the game, then you know, they're not going to say anything negative about it.
Across the street from Times Square was a pizza place. And so we would go across the street, get some pizza, and we would discuss, you know, everything that we saw, what was cool, what was not cool, or, you know, what should we change?
Those were the
you know,
spots.
hey, that was cool, and it was,
like
it was
Pizza
so
Huts.
much fun.
These have arcade games in it.
Game on test
That was the life, bro.
Reaffirming that we had something big.
And you could sit down and eat at Pizza Huts.
So
It's arcade games, bro.
They just had to run around like in circles.
Look at the salt. Look at the salt. Look at the salt.
By the end of that night, we had a pack of players around our game.
Yo, he was mad salty.
And hollering and just having the, you know, great
Dude, this game brought out the salt though, for real. You could talk bad shit, bro, in this game.
First see the game on a Friday. We saw them the entire week.
Especially Mortal Kombat 2, bro.
I thought, okay, we're gonna be
Did?
okay.
Y'all don't remember this shit, bro. With your quarters up. Basically just come over a roll of quarters. That's basically what we did. Parents would give us a roll of quarters, 2 rolls of quarters, and back in the day, they'll go shopping in the mall and just leave it. Here's a roll of quarters, or here's $5. Go get some quarters. And leave you alone for 2 hours. What's the life, bro? That was the life. Sonya Blade. They eventually made Striker.
This was our first game that we were doing kind of as the leaders of the game. You know, Mark Trammell was the kind of leader of the Smash TV team, and Eugene was kind of the leader of the High Impact team, along with John.
Those are the days, bro.
And
Mortal
so
Kombat,
like
NBA Jam.
Solo
Man,
I think they have
I spent
complementary skills.
mad time playing those games.
Certainly in the first few games, it was just like we just knew what the other person was looking for, and I don't know that we ever. I mean, if we had an argument, it certainly wasn't about the work that we were doing. We just seemed to know what the other person was looking for.
They worked well because they trusted each other's talents enough to say, okay, yeah, you know what you're talking about. Ed took care of all the programming. John took care of all the art.
They just had this unsaid hey, you know, it'd be fun. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's do it.
Working with Ed, one of his great strengths were just his focus, I think, and his ability to just grind and get things done. Ed, who was
Only if they will allow him to do it now, bro.
to create that game.
The higher ups always
Hindsight
fucking up
was
shit, bro.
For one programmer to do all those games is pretty amazing. And
His door is always open. He wants to hear new ideas. He's dangerously funny, where it just busts me up at least once a day.
He would just crack us up all the time, just his jokes, and he made it easy to work the long hours.
John is a really good storyteller. John has a history as a comic book artist. So I think that probably contributed to his ability to tell a compact story. The only story we had was a little paragraph that would play underneath the character doing a kata. But that was enough to really intrigue players.
You really gave a shit about it because of the backstory, because about the whole mythology that John Tobias had created. You know, maybe not unlike WWF or something, almost like Star Wars in martial arts.
The first game truly was like an expression of just who we were at the time. You know, we were in our early 20s, the stuff that we consumed growing up as kids, and we just threw it all into the game. There was nobody telling us what to do, how to do it.
I think it was a great partnership, and I think, you know, what can you say? Success beyond belief.
Midway presents.
Fighting games have proven themselves to be strong collectors suitable for a wide
As
range
you can
of
tell, this joke is an old ass joint.
They embody the most attractive
It's just
elements
separated
of
on one
arcade
side.
experience.
Audio.
Characters endowed with
I thought it was my audio. I was like, oh shit, this is
full
all.
player
See?
control.
That's
Secret
exactly how
moves,
it's just set
and
up.
a kind of unbridled head-to-head competition that compels repeat buy-in. Now from Midway comes Mortal Kombat. It captures the most popular elements of the fighting game and adds more. More control, more powerful characters, more depth, more secret moves, and advanced digitized graphics, delivering the most
The digitized
realistic
graphics
fighting
changed the
action
game,
film.
bro. It was.
Begin Mortal Kombat by choosing one of 7 characters, each boasting an arsenal of unique talents. There's Johnny Cage, the brash Hollywood movie star. Kano, thief and mercenary. Raiden, the mythical thunder god. Liu Kang, the fighting Shaolin monk. Scorpion, a ninja warrior bent on revenge. Sub-Zero, the ultimate assassin. And Sonya, U.S. Special Forces soldier. Each player has 5 basic moves.
See this right here? This is the button layout. This is the original, which should be the only for the arcade Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 at least. Layout. The eye is spaced out in the block because you use the block. You just, it was instead of having macros, you didn't have macros back in the day. High punch, high kick at the top. Low punch, low kick. This is how all the Mortal Kombat 1, 2 should be. And 3 and 4 before they added the run button. But it's not like this with this exact color. No dust cover on the top, underneath. You needed it underneath because why would you have the dust cover there or rub your hand and rub on it? So this right here, the authentic joint. That's what I got right now. Let's go.
Each player has 5 basic moves corresponding to the 5 action buttons. high punch, high kick, low punch, low kick, and a block. In addition to these moves, players will continue to discover new joystick button combinations. Each new technique provides another competitive edge. For example, moving the joystick away from your opponent while pressing the low kick button will result in this sweep kick. Moving the joystick straight down will put the player in a crouch. By then releasing the joystick and pressing low punch, you'll administer a devastating uppercut. Secret moves play a big part in the success of any fighting game. Collections soar as players strive to develop a character's full fighting potential. Mortal Kombat has several times more secret moves than the nearest competitor. The button joystick combinations required to execute these moves are different for each character.
So he was mashed. That's how I was.
And each character's
You didn't know the moves, bro.
Offers unique tactical advantages.
First time you did a special, you're like, oh, what the fuck? What'd I just do? What'd I just
do? If you learn one of Sonya's secret moves, you'll be able to perform this devastating scissor throw. Learning to activate Raiden's secret weapon lets you fire lightning bolts at your opponents.
Raiden wins.
Victory is achieved by winning 2 out of 3 rounds. Players losing a match will have to buy in to continue.
Liu Kang wins.
Finally, winning 3 matches against paired adversaries will put you in the ring opposite Goro, a 4-armed, unstoppable titan, half human, half dragon.
Dude, that shit was so annoying back in the day.
Should Goro be subdued, you'll engage the most deceptive and powerful opponent of all, Shang Tsung, the
He was so
bloodthirsty
cheap.
emperor, capable of instantly becoming any fighter he chooses. Conquer Shang Tsung, and you will have joined unfrequented ranks, those who have battled all adversaries, yet survived.
Test your might.
Every 5 matches during both 1- and 2-player games, you'll have a chance to test your strength and win bonus points by smashing progressively harder
These old buttons you smash your head. Once they get up to the Hydra, dude, that shit was almost impossible, bro.
2-player mode allows true head-to-head combat. Players must rely on their fighting abilities, as well as a knowledge of their character's strengths, as they are matched against an opponent with different, but equally lethal, abilities. Each player selects a character and the match begins. The player losing the best-of-3 match will have the option of buying in to continue. The winning player will continue to play as long as he maintains a string of victories. Loser pays, winner stays. From a technical standpoint, operators will find even more to like. Mortal Kombat employs Midway's exclusive diagnostic package and a sensitive yet durable 8-way microswitch joystick.
Yep. Different from the Japanese joint. Way different.
In addition, operators will want to be aware of a dip switch setting we've included, allowing them to temp.
See this right here? The menus and stuff. They put Digital Eclipse put a lot of stuff in. You can turn it on and off, which is great.
Temper the game to fit the requirements of a location. By simply flipping a switch on the CPU,
I don't think a lot of this,
you're
but they
able to
put
remove
like
any depictions of
blood,
that would otherwise appear in
stuff
the
like
game.
that. You can get to the secret characters, easy fatalities and
Another
stuff.
dip switch will disable the most graphic secret moves. In this way, operators can be sure they're matching the game to the disposition of their clientele.
Man, most of them didn't. They never turned that shit off.
Mortal Kombat is quite simply the most complete video fighting game available. It boasts the industry's most realistic graphics, digitized images of real martial arts experts, heroic characters more powerful than those found on any other fighting game, secret moves to learn and master, and fierce battles against titanic adversaries.
Yo, Goro, when
All
the
of
first
these
time you
elements
fought Goro,
combine to make this game powerfully unique.
what the fuck?
The world's most advanced interactive fighting experience.
Dope.
Fighting games of that era kind of all had this level
Alright,
of
y'all.
secrecy.
I'm gonna be right back. I gotta take a little quick break. Don't go nowhere. All right.
Mortal Kombat, I think, took that to a very extreme level.
You had to guess like the moves and how to figure out the
Flippy B,
codes.
baby.
I think Street Fighter did something like that, right? They didn't document any of the moves, so we took that same approach.
I think not having a move list, there was so much to explore, and you had no idea of what you were still missing. It was another thing, it built up so much mystique to the game.
But then we kind of extended it, right, with the fatalities and whatnots. Especially at the end with the character Dizzy, there was a certain amount of, you know, what are you going to do? You would see them trying to trigger something up. They knew that there was something secret in there.
The announcer's like, finish him! And you go up and go, boom. And you're like, damn it! I screwed up the fatality. It's like the worst feeling in the world.
And, you know, everyone was playing as Kano because in the early days before people, you know, knew what most of the moves were, Kano's moves were just, I don't know, move the joystick in a circle real fast and he'll turn into a ball and do it, or hit block and mash the buttons, I don't know.
First character I played was Kano, and I found the ball attack and the knife throw, and within the first day I found the fatality too.
Kano wins.
I was finding stuff right away.
I remember being in your office, and I remember you showing me what the button combinations were, and then you have to be standing this far away from the other character. And I remember thinking to myself, there's no way anybody's going to figure this out. We're never going to, no one's ever going to do this. And literally, like the first weekend, they figured it out right away. Yeah.
You know, the fatalities and special moves and things like those were things that you kind of had to trade around.
Because you
exactly, that's what I'm talking about.
Chattering, like, oh, there's this move, there's this move, and not having the internet at the time to go to, it made it very social.
If you knew something that wasn't, you know, widespread,
the first one people were passing around, but the second one people were selling them joints, bro.
And
a couple bucks,
really blow some mind.
You know.
So a lot of hand watching. Where did you stand? The most premium spots are literally right behind it, like right between two people, or on the corners, because those are the only spots where you were able to see the screen and people's hands at the same time.
There was so much in there, and it really requires a fan base to come together and share, to work together to play them and solve them and uncover the secrets and all that stuff.
I was always obsessed with those kinds of things. I was a big fan of Street Fighter, and there was this rumor that was not true, that there was a character in there called Sheng Long. And I remember when we had started this game thinking, you know, we have to have a real secret character. And so there was a Sunday, and Scorpion was yellow, Sub-Zero was blue, and I went into the art program and tinted him green, made up these crazy rules in terms of how to find him, made him jump out occasionally and kind of tease you with his existence, put it together in one day, didn't even tell John about it, and was just kind of wondering how many people are going to pick up on this. It became a bit of like a Bigfoot. Some people had sightings and some people didn't, because there was this one that was real and was rather difficult to find. It could give players a little bit of creative license to come up with something and say that they did see something else happening in the game.
The level of secrets that happened in those first few Mortal Kombat games kind of corresponds with the rise of the internet. And people started trading around like, hey, here's a list of, I think these are fatalities.
I remember going home to my dad's house, and he had internet. He had a CompuServe account. And I started just learning as much as I could. And I'm like, Dad, can I go back to the arcade? I want to try some of this stuff.
I made it my mission to test all that stuff out. And that became my calling. We need to investigate.
And I published my first FAQ, and it is the most inaccurate piece of junk that is available. It's like shameful, but it's where I started.
And then, you know, all these urban legends about Ermac and all these other alleged characters that it's kind of like, you know, how the kids used to say back in the day, the negative worlds and Mario Brothers and Mario could go skiing. You know, it's that kind of like, you know, the kid equivalent of water cooler conversations.
People would come up with lore, you know,
Yeah,
lies
right.
of,
That's
of,
right.
I did this and that happened, and everybody's, you know, and we just shut up.
A friend of mine in high school said he was cousins with someone who filmed for the game. and that there was a secret character that they had filmed. So I put it in my FAQ, and I trusted him, and found out way later he was just messing with me.
The people feeding in things that they'd want to see in the game would kind of blend in with what was really there.
Yep, that's how shit was, bro.
Sometimes you'd see a move and then it was gone. You'd be like, I swear this was in there. Did that really
Before
happen? That, like,
smartphones and all that shit. This is how he did it.
His little brother was playing the game and told me about Kano's laser beam.
Yeah, that's right.
And I remember telling my friend's younger brother, you know, there's no laser beam. He's like, no, I saw it. And so I know he's mistaken with what, I don't know what he saw, but he didn't see that. This mythology was being built by the player base. I think we understood that pretty early on, and Ed, more than anybody, I think really took advantage of that and kind of messed with the players with.
Ed is the troll king, bro.
I remember somebody found one of Sonya's moves, and I foolishly changed it because I read it on a news group, you know, thinking, you know, yeah, I got the best of that.
And they did some devious things to keep a lot of those things secret. I think there was a revision of Mortal Kombat 2 where they just arbitrarily changed all the fatalities because everyone figured them out too fast. And it's maybe the most devious and mean thing they've
ever done. It was.
Yeah, this internet thing has gotten. You can't defeat it. It's just too powerful.
One of the fun things about going to an arcade was, you know, a lot of people didn't have the internet just yet. So people would show up with their copy of their FAQ.
Oh yeah,
Once
I didn't.
was there,
I had it.
and I saw someone with my guide, like my FAQ, and I was like, "Oh, where'd you get that?" He's like, "Oh, the guy who wrote it sold it to me." And I was like, "What do you mean sold it to you? I wrote it."
Yeah, people were selling them joints, bro. It was.
John drew, and we were the ones stuffing the envelopes, and we started writing messages to players. Sonya has a slide move, you know. She didn't have a slide move. Within a week, I was at it was like Galen Orange or something arcade. And some guy was playing Sonya, just keep trying these things. And one of the guys said, you know, what are you looking for? And he goes, I'm looking for Sonya's slide move, you know? Poor guy was
Ed Boon,
looking for it. But
he still trolls till this day, bro.
Fuel to that fire.
People hate it.
Secrets went unknown to me until much later in life when walkthroughs on YouTube became a thing. And I was like, whoa. I totally missed a lot of stuff in a lot of games.
So to us, secrets were basically replay
That's a
value.
bit
That was
mustard.
the most important thing for us. Having more to do with the game, having more to discover, more to enjoy.
We love the idea of, you know, just this question mark over the game. You know, what else is in there that nobody else has found? And it just made the game that much more mysterious.
The only thing that made Ed Boon, he's so trolly, but the powers that be above him fucked the game up. Like, it was cool when he trolled and he put hints out and shit like that, but when the game was in a shit, when it was shit, bro, it was like you got angry or Ed, but it's not his fault. I was like, bro, this game is not in a good state. When it's in a shit state, we don't want trolling, bro. Just fix the game. This is the original. This right here might be when shit really hit the fan for Mortal Kombat. This is when it first came home.
So when Street Fighter 2 came out, I wasn't really too impressed by it. I think I finished it once, picked Zangief because I was a wrestling fan, and then kind of moved on. I eventually kind of fell in with a crowd that really got a lot out of Street Fighter 2. And so suddenly it became very apparent I need to get great at that game. One guy showed up and said, "Hey, have you heard of this other game, Mortal Kombat?" I'm like, no, what is Mortal Kombat? And he said, "Well, you know, it's like Street Fighter, but you can fucking kill people." Okay, well, we need to go see this game right now.
I absolutely remember the first time I played Mortal Kombat. It was at Lions Family Fun, my favorite arcade.
My dad would usually give my brother and me $5 each and let us run wild while he went shopping.
I told you.
I was at an arcade in Virginia. The Q Lounge in the
I
Bronx,
played it
New York. It was a
at the
space that
mall.
was half smoky pool hall, half arcade.
He took us to an arcade 2 towns north, up to Santa Rosa. There was a place called Systems City. And it was like part skate shop, but in the back room, all the lights were off, and they had like 5 arcade machines back there.
I see this huge crowd gathered around a new cabinet.
And it was sitting there. There was nobody around it.
No one was playing it. It was just sitting there. What is this?
I just remember just like a big line around the cabinet.
Everyone is crowded around Mortal Kombat. It is simultaneously exactly like and nothing like Street Fighter. You know, the filmed presentation, the real actors and actresses and all of that really just it's so striking.
In Mortal Kombat, when you're seeing those 2 big characters on the screen, I was just like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Instantly, it was like, oh, it's digitized. It's real people. It was like, wow, this is incredible. It's like, how are they doing this? How did this game come to be?
I was blown away by how it looked.
Because it was a violent, bloody game.
Like, that's the first time I've seen blood in a video game that I remembered.
Even from a basic high punch, you just see blood flying out of these people's heads.
Liu Kang wins.
Even if I couldn't do the specials of certain characters, I could fall into a rhythm that just felt so good. Just like, you know, air kick, uppercut. And I was, oh, I feel like the baddest motherfucker in the world.
In a time where you didn't see that kind of stuff in games and especially in arcades where kids were, you know, running around with their parents, and parents were still freaking out too, kind of seeing what was happening.
My dad came up behind me. I didn't know this at the time, but the screen went dark. Kano ripped out a heart and held it up, blood dripping from it. And my dad went, "Oh, no, 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 no," and whisked me out of the arcade. And that's when I knew I had to play that game because I was not allowed to play that game.
People getting chopped in half and torsos being dismembered.
Liu Kang wins. Flawless victory fatality.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that in a video game. I didn't know that was allowed in a video game.
And we're, you know, 16, 17 at the time, so this is the most exciting thing in the world.
The endings and how every character had, even though Street Fighter, they had an ending, but Mortal Kombat was like the first thing that really affected me. It was like, I really want to play all these characters to see what happens. And this is before YouTube, so it wasn't like you could just go on YouTube and watch it. You had to, you know, earn it, right?
What's Kano's backstory? You know, what about Sonya? That's what we wanted to know about. And, you know, they specified a lot of it kind of in, you know, various screens and whatnot. You know, we were hooked.
But it didn't take long from there for that game to be literally everywhere. Every single pizza place, 7-Eleven,
Yes,
arcades,
pizza places.
arcades that were left
It
at
was
that point.
out of control.
All of them had a Mortal Kombat machine probably within a month.
Like, I didn't even get the Mortal Kombat comic book, bro. I'm mad. I'm mad that I didn't. I'm mad I didn't get them. I'm heated. How good this joint looks, bro. Elizabeth Malecki. Oh yeah, she was the first. Sonya Blade. How come she didn't get the second one? I don't know why she didn't return for the second one. 16-bit wars. This was like Nintendo. The 8-bit was fire. I had so many games in regular Nintendo regular Nintendo era, Master System. Nintendo easily bodied them. That was free. 16-bit, hey, it was close. I think Nintendo still won, but Sega was there. Acclaim spent mad money on marketing, which worked out. Game Boy and Game Gear, this shit was fire. Uh-oh. What is this? All the Rivals just tweeted out something, bro. But this was Mortal Monday, bro. Mortal Monday, yo, 93? You had to beat it to get that shit, bro. I was 15, so I didn't turn 16 until later that year. My old head, son. Blood code. The Super Nintendo blood. Oh, it was one of them. This was fire. Bro, that right there was so hype. This was crazy. Dude, that day when that happened, bro, it was. See, that's not Carrie Ann Hoskins. I forgot that she wasn't the first Sonya. Right, I think she was the second. Everybody remembers her as Sonya. Something had to happen between them. I don't know. All right, this
The
right here.
first time I saw a crowd gathered around a Mortal Kombat cabinet when I was 10 told me that, okay, this game is a big deal at my arcade. I had no idea if that translated outside my arcade. Then Mortal Monday happened. Not just the day itself, but the build up to it.
Seeing the zeitgeist around it was huge. Conversations around Mortal
Dude.
Monday were happening. It first kind of
These were the days. The days of video game magazines, bro. Oh, bro. Go in a grocery store. If you didn't have the regular subscription, you would get your magazine to find out what's coming out next. People don't realize like the finer things in life. That's what these were. It's like a comic book, but just for video games. Before the internet, before, you can just go right there, just Google it and just ask, you know who about it? Dude, I had all the magazines. I had EGM, Game Pro, Nintendo Power was one of the first ones. There was a lot of good, man. OXM, bro. And all of them. Instead of getting like all these TV streaming subscriptions, we had video game book subscriptions. Get in the mail. And you knew when it was coming. So you expected to get there like, I got my new book. Sit there all day. Reading it, the whole book.
big marketing push.
Acclaim was clearly, they knew what they had in their hands, and so they were doing a much bigger effort in promoting it. I remember them telling us that they were going to spend $10 million to
It was everywhere.
this
It was
game. And I remember
everywhere.
saying, are you sure
KB
you want to
Toy
put that kind of
stores?
money behind this? And in retrospect, of
Toys
course
R
that
Us.
was a great decision. But I remember being really paranoid, thinking,
That's the original Sonya.
putting a lot into
Lucky.
this game.
The preparation for the release of Mortal Kombat was just massive. I was working at Babbage's Software. Pre-sales had started early,
Babbage's.
so we knew we were going to be
That's before
selling
GameStop,
out.
boy.
It was all I could talk about.
People don't remember the Babbages.
I remember going to see a movie, I can't remember which film it was, and they were advertising Mortal Mondays, which was one of the greatest marketing blitzes in video game history. And it was just, all these random kids yelling in the middle of a city street, Mortal Kombat, right?
That commercial with people running down the street screaming Mortal Kombat, and they were teens, and I was a little kid, and teens are the coolest thing you could be when you're a little kid.
You don't have to show screenshots or anything else necessarily. Everybody knew. All you have to do is just have somebody out in the middle of the street just putting up his arms saying Mortal Kombat. It's almost like, hi, it's here. It sells itself.
That's probably one of the hypest.
We were all like, yo, did you see that Mortal Kombat commercial? What is Mortal Kombat? And there was always one kid who knew a little more. It's a video game, but you kill people. And all of us at Maplewood Elementary School were like, whoa!
We had 2 front monitors that were just showcasing Mortal Kombat videos, and
In the comics,
Super
on the back
Nintendo,
of the
bro, I got
comics,
that.
there were Mortal Monday
And the Mortal
ads.
Kombat.
There were Mortal Kombat ads in magazines. There were
1 and
Mortal
2
Kombat ads
in the
in subways.
Mortal Kombat 3, I was kind
Just
of,
seeing the standees and the
you know what time it
posters
was.
and
Once you
things at
get
Times Square
17 or
the
so.
signage that was coming, piece of memorabilia that was
Doing all
coming
the
in,
thing.
and T-shirts, and it was just over the top compared to other games.
I remember just being nervous about it, thinking, I hope this game lives up to it. Even though it was a huge arcade game, you just never know in the fall.
It was insane. There was a giant line, and it was just so exciting.
That's when I realized, like, this is actually a bigger deal than maybe any video game that's come before it. Mortal Kombat became a pillar of popular culture within 12 months. It was, I think, the fastest a video game had ever exploded to date.
Nothing could prepare you for it. It was, it was just insane.
It was ridiculous, bro. Mortal Kombat Genesis, Mortal Kombat Super Nintendo, Game Gear. See, back in the day, dude, that's what they need to do now, bro. They need to get back to these days. Like Xbox, like PlayStation had it too. Like everybody could have had it. I don't know why they stopped. I guess Nintendo got the best of both worlds. A console and a portable. Guess they learned, but they could still. Like Xbox could do that. Sony can do it. Sony had it. Xbox is the only one that didn't do it. So now they have it quasi now, but the next one is gonna be there. I had the Game Boy one too. I'm pretty sure I still have it. I didn't have Sega Genesis. I was a Nintendo, Super Nintendo. Cause I had so many Nintendo games. I still do. I probably got like 50 Nintendo games. Yeah, I went Super Nintendo. I didn't have as many. I know I got Street Fighters. I didn't get all the Street Fighters. All the Mortal Kombat that was on Super Nintendo. I don't think I got Mortal Kombat 3 though. This was like the beginning of the end of arcades. Because once you can get almost the same action at home, bro.
Mustard and myself grew up in a really small town. The closest thing you would have to an arcade machine is the local bowling alley may have had like a light gun game, but that's pretty much it. It was only the home versions that allowed us to experience the different franchises, and I feel like I unofficially speak for quite a lot of people our age, how important
They're definitely probably like 4 or 5 years younger than me. Probably maybe a little bit more.
So that the rest of us could still experience it in different parts of the world, the arcades
Like
weren't.
the home versions were good, but they wasn't good as
Which
the
side was I on in the
arcade
home versions? There's only one side. Like, what do you know? It's just the Genesis version. There's only one version of the game.
See, look, this right here. This was the console war. Sega versus Nintendo. It was two differences. Sega had blood. The Genesis had the blood. Nintendo didn't. But you can put a code in. Genesis played a little bit better, but Nintendo's sound was better. And the graphics, I think the graphics was a little bit better.
The Super Nintendo version is a travesty by comparison.
No blood. Oh, the Genesis.
I actually thought that even though the Genesis was
The
a
Genesis
little
was-
behind graphically than the Super
Yeah.
Nintendo, I liked the grittier look of the Genesis version. It really
Super
felt
Nintendo had better
kind
graphics
of
and
down
shit.
and dirty the way Mortal Kombat should.
It was just the blood. That's all it was.
I mean, also the Genesis version had the blood code.
Yeah. The sound was nowhere near. I don't think it was good.
The real fatalities. And
Yeah, they had the. I gave it to them. The Genesis had all the
dullard
The real
code
shit.
and all the other cool stuff in it. I think that made up for like the music in the Genesis version being really hokey and
Yeah,
some
it
of
was
the
ass.
stuff.
My friend
It was
had a
ass.
Genesis. They got Mortal Kombat. His mom would come in every now and then just to look at the screen to make sure there was no blood flying.
Finish him.
See, that's
And so what we would do is we would enter the blood code, we'd play a match or two, and then we'd hit reset, turn off the blood code, keep playing when she came in, and then she'd leave and we'd turn the blood code back on.
Nintendo screwed the pooch when they didn't allow the blood in the game, and they instead put sweat in it, which the Genesis version outsold the SNES version like 3-1 or something like that. Everybody
Yep.
wanted the violence, they wanted the blood.
The Super Nintendo version feels like mud. Like the
It did.
act of playing that game is so unlike playing the actual arcade game.
it was kind of ass.
So I really wanted
It
Mortal
looked
Kombat.
better.
Not just to fit in, but because I loved it. I wanted it so bad, but my family didn't have a ton of money. So I scraped together all the money I had, and I was able to finally afford Mortal Kombat for the Game Boy. And that game is a
Dude, the Game Boy was
experience.
ahead of its time, bro. If y'all never experienced the Game Boy, bro, when that shit came out, it was unbelievable. You could play all your Nintendo games. Basically, it had so much. It knew it wasn't color, but you had so many stuff. You could put the nightlight on it, magnified nightlight. Bro, it was the shit. Plug headphones into it. You could play anywhere. You didn't have to sit in front of a TV. This was life. This right here, Game Boy, was the life. And now we got handhelds these days. Bro, this is what... I don't know it was first, but Game Boy was definitely it. I definitely have this game still. It probably ran at fucking 10 FPS.
When you play Mortal Kombat in the arcade, it's a little bit heavy and you feel the power of those hits. Mortal Kombat on the Game Boy moved like two frozen people were slowly trying to get
It
close
did,
enough.
bro. It was horrible. But
When
you
push
loved
the
it.
punch button,
Because you could play it anywhere.
eventually move the fist forward a little bit at maybe 1 frame per minute.
Yeah, it was horrible. But you still, we loved it, bro. Because you didn't have anything like
I
that.
cannot do a fatality in this game. I know for a fact they exist because the computer can do the fatalities on that pit level. Instead of having them fall off the stage onto spikes, at the end of each part of the level were just little drawn spikes in the background that you could knock them onto. And I think that was their like makeshift solution for having a stage-based fatality. Even as a kid, I knew it was not the best version.
Yes, it
but
wasn't.
I loved it so much. I even put in a Game Genie code that let you play as Goro. Like,
Oh yeah, I
did
remember
every
that. Game
secret
Genies,
possible. I was
bro.
gonna squeeze
The
every
Game
single
Genies was
dollar I
so,
put into that game.
it was so beast.
And I still own it, and I'll still play it occasionally because I'm kind of a masochist. But it's,
Well, hey,
there's something
we got it
special
on
about
this
There's
collection.
something that's kind of like pure about a Mortal Kombat game that's so weird and watered down and slow that it almost circles back around to being kind of creepy and
It's kind of cool they have it in the collection though, but if they didn't have these other problems, the Game Gear was way better, bro. Than a Game Boy. But Game Boy had the game. So the color. I never had a Game Gear. I was always a Nintendo until
I mean,
Xbox
they may
came
not
out.
have been like arcade perfect, but to us, we didn't know any better. We didn't have anything to comparison. All we cared about was just, you know, play the game, have fun with it, you know,
Yeah.
enjoy what we were doing, and that was about it.
This right here was fire. Oh, this is the bullshit. Oh, it's too violent in video games. This is where the ESRB was made. The ESRB.
Video games were becoming more and more sophisticated, maturing.
It was around that time that
Graphically.
we were realizing that video games aren't just for kids. The manufacturers of the home consoles still kind of thought of them that way. It's like, hey, this is a toy for kids.
We never made Mortal Kombat for 6-year-olds or anything like that. That was never the intention. 4 guys in their 20s, what kind of video game are they going to make?
In our minds, we were creating the game for a certain demographic of player.
Fans of Terminator, Bloodsport,
Yes.
Alien, Predator, you know, all these movies. It was a game by guys in their 20s, 4 guys in their 20s. And nobody mentioned anything during the arcade days.
Once the game came home on the consoles, it came into people's living rooms. That was a shocker to the moms and dads of suburbia.
Blood splatters from the contestants' heads. When a player wins, the so-called death sequence begins. The game narrator instructs the player to finish, and I quote, finish his opponent.
My parents were very worried about the violence in Mortal Kombat because eventually they saw the news stories. They saw the news stories that were like you could rip out someone's spine or you could light them on fire. Like I had a friend who was not allowed to go to another friend's house because he had played Mortal Kombat with him.
And we also really didn't see a lot of animated blood in video games back then. It seems so commonplace today.
What is the difference in between this and violent movies? Why is it different?
No one's looking at movies in the same way as they're looking at video games.
Rock music before it, and comics and heavy metal.
You know, I grew up at a time Elvis Presley's body was blacked out from the waist down because he was gyrating, and God only knows what that's going to do to today's youth.
I do think that there was a number of kind of politicians and other people who were looking for a scapegoat. Kind of this was it. It came along at the right time.
Kato wins. Flawless victory.
It was just like, video games are bad, and these are the ones doing it. I think the thing that made me most angry about it was it just felt like no one involved in any of this had ever actually played a video game or seen this stuff outside of very carefully selected footage.
It was like fairly kind of innocuous, and it was like kind of cartoon violence.
And yeah, it seems violent, but ultimately it's really just funny.
Yeah, it's like Evil Dead, isn't it?
The very idea that like Mortal Kombat was somehow going to destroy society or the fabric of our youth or anything was always ridiculous.
These home games had no system of ratings, right? Like a CD would say explicit lyrics or something. A movie would say rated R for violence or, whatever. And I think to me that was the fundamental issue. Somebody noticed and somebody objected to it, and we certainly didn't disagree with it.
And so I think that the reaction from Congress and everything at the time,
this shit was crazy.
Almost to me felt appropriate.
Yeah, I'd say having the conversation about violence in video games and ratings in video games ultimately is something that was going to have to happen sooner or later. Is the industry going to be able to self-regulate, or is the government going to have to come in and do a bunch of really dumb things?
I think that the rating system helps people make more informed decisions about what they're buying, and that included Mortal Kombat. If you're a parent who bought their kids games, they probably shouldn't have been playing Mortal Kombat unless you could supervise them. It was the next step in the maturity of the industry, and the rating system was kind of emblematic of that. It was a way to say, hey, here's this type of game, here's the type of content, make your own choice.
The rating system and stuff that came from it felt like the right choice, to make.
I think that if video games were like a squalling infant that was just learning how to crawl, Mortal Kombat got them toddling on their feet.
This is where it got real. I didn't realize this joke was this long, bro. We might do it. We might have to do a part 2 of this stream. I think this is where we're gonna end this. It's gonna be a to be continued, boys. I got some things I need to do today. I'm probably gonna play some games later, but just for the documentary, we're gonna do a part 2 on the stream. We might even do it tomorrow. So I'd like to thank everybody who stopped by today. Extended stream. And I definitely gotta get some stuff done. Follow me at J Milton everywhere. You know when I go live, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Blue Sky. And I should be live early tomorrow. We're gonna play some Rivals, and then we're gonna come into Mortal Kombat again. We're gonna finish this documentary. See, I don't want to play the games until they get everything fixed. Because I don't want to have that impression about it. Be like, oh, it's fucked. I just want to play it when it's fixed. The documentary is good enough for me right now. I played the games plenty of times, so. Because a patch came out today. Came out yesterday. And I'll play it today or tomorrow. So, alright y'all. Peace out.